Going on, party people? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the tournament. So today is going to be a tabletop style tournament. So what that means is you play one list the entire way through. So it's very similar to a single faction tournament in the fact that you pick one faction. So hey, I'm going to play dwarves. So what the players then do is they submit a list to me, and that's all they can play the entire tournament. That's it. So you can't change your list depending on what you're facing off against. It isn't all comers essentially. So you have to kind of, it's like playing in tabletop. You know, you're playing 40K, you're playing Old World, you're going to go play in a tournament. You build a list that can kind of handle the meta, right? Can handle a multitude of threats. So that allows for some really weird strategy with like tech and skew lists and some very, very strange business. All right, let's get it going. We're going to be casting this game first. It's going to be some dwarf action, and everybody's getting their opponents right now, so should be all set. And thank you guys so much for joining. Yeah, it's fun. It's a different twist on... we did a couple of these tournaments back in the day, a couple years ago, but it's been a long time, and I don't think I've ever done this since Warhammer 3. But should be good. It will certainly change up the meta. I mean, I think that probably some of the stronger factions will remain the strongest. I mean, there's a couple builds like Slaanesh and Ogres can bring that probably are good in most matchups, like Leadbelcher-based builds, and, you know... Yeah, Slaanesh can just use their cavalry, but... we'll have to see what's cooking, man. I'm not playing today. It'd be a little bit unfair, right? Because I'm seeing everybody's list, so it would allow me to like list tailor. So I'm just going to be casting today. Yeah. So every round we're going to be taking a look at different lists, and since people can't change their lists, that means I can look in between games. If you lose tabletop style, that means you can flip the table. Now, for all of us powerful nerds here, has anybody actually ever seen that? Like a table flip in person? I don't think I have. I've seen some nerd rage for sure. Hey, Fueling, thank you for resubscribing. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. All right, so we have Dark Elves versus Dwarves in our first round. Okay. Now, check this out. You guys ready for the builds here? We have the Dwarves with a Thunderbarge build. Look at this Dwarven build. It's a Norgrimling's Ironbreakers, Long Zhong Slayer Pirates, Doomseekers, and Thunderbarge in the starting build. Oh my god. And then for the Dark Elves... okay, you know, I was going to feel really bad if the Dark Elves didn't bring any ranged units, but they do have double Dark Rider, they have double Scourge Runner, they have a Ballista in reserve as well, so I think that's pretty good. Both players look like they're going to be able to handle one another. It's going to come down to micro, decision-making, and all that sort of good stuff. I've seen a table slam that crumbled the table. Holy shit. Was it like a powerful neckbeard table slam, or what? You got to give some details on that. 007 saying in college you saw a guy flip a table over a Monopoly game. Yeah, I can see that. Some alcohol involved. Yeah, so this is, they can't change their list. They get one list for the entire tournament. And I don't know what they're waiting for. They can pretty much just start right now. Okay. Know what the opponent has now. You can... ready. You can just, yes, it is Swiss. Okay, perfect. So there we go. And so it begins. So players should be able to ready up really quickly. There we go. Outstanding. Wide infantry builds all day. All right. Maybe. I don't know. I saw a lot of wild builds. You guys are going to see once we get to the later rounds of the tournament. And this tournament, by the way, should be a lot more smooth than usual because there's no army building process. Players are just going to get right into the games, which is going to be good. All right, guys. GLHF, Dwarves versus Dark Elves. Let's break it down and have some fun. All right. Malden, thank you for the resubscription. Appreciate it. Thanks for the Haggard Fun turn. OnlyFans win. Oh my god. You're out of control, man. All right, so we're going to be on the Putrefying Carcass here. Oh, we still have map pick and bans. That's why it took a little bit longer. I was wondering why they didn't start right away. It's because they were doing the picks and bans for the maps. Got it. Yeah, I'll be really curious to see who wins today. I mean, Inticity is playing, and he is playing on Slaanesh, and he probably has one of the sweatiest builds I've had submitted to me so far. His is really sweaty, so I mean, certainly a good horse to bet on there. He is looking very scary. We'll see who else is participating. Some very strong players for sure. All right, guys, let's break it down. So, spawning in on the east side of the map, it's going to be the dwarves. They have Doomseekers, Long-Drawn Slayer Pirates, Norgamlings Ironbreakers. So basically, it's all like blobbing Ungabunga. You know, extremely tanky units in the front, backed up by Doomseekers who can kill pretty much any infantry in the game. Long-Drawn Slayer Pirates for their Dwarven Rum to debuff everybody around you and put a little bit of pressure from downrange. Dwarf Warriors, Malachi Makaisen. If you're going to be going Thunderbarge, Malachi is mandatory because he does have the Persuader, which is going to be able to heal the Thunderbarge here. All right. Now, taking a look here at the forces of the Druchii, we are going to be seeing some Witch Elves in the front. Witch Elves are actually not bad against Dwarves. They've been used historically because they have anti-infantry, and though they lack AP, in a grind versus Dwarven infantry, they can do some good work. Supreme Sorceress of Death. Purple Sun is going to be very useful here. We do also have a Bloodrack Medusa. Scourge Hunter Chariots are not bad against Dwarves, better against Gyrocopters for sure. And we do have a Master on a Flying Beast here. All right, interesting. So the Master is going to be here, and this is going to be one of the bigger threats to the Thunderbarge here. So this build has this is a really well-rounded build here by Razek. He's got a little bit of everything. This is like, I would say, the definition of a all-comers list. It kind of has a little bit of everything. It's probably its weakest point is its infantry killing power. The Dark Elves don't really have something that just annihilates good quality infantry outside of Purple Sun. Although there's the Medusa, so the Bloodrack Medusa is going to be lurking in the round there, and yeah, we'll see. So it is barging time, and the Thunderbarge probably going to be using its dreaded Harpoon to go after the Sorceress, I would guess. I would suspect that that's going to be the target there. Sorceress gathering in the trees, in the bushes, lurking there. Yeah, Thunderbarge is a really good bet in an all-comers tournament because it's something you need to prepare for. So if somebody doesn't, isn't preparing specifically for a Dwarven Thunderbarge list, they might have problems. Granted, Dark Elves have a lot of missiles in their normal builds anyways. Like a Dark Elf all-comers list would for sure have Scourge Hunters and Dark Riders. Those are some of the best units on the roster, right? Ooh, Value City, guys. The Medusa popping out of the trees and getting beautiful damage against Norgamlings. Only killing one model out of the gate, but is going to continue farming there. He needs to get the Long-Drawn Slayer Pirates on top of the Bloodrack Medusa here and really feast. Oh my god, the damage! Look at the damage on the Norgamlings Ironbreakers. Those bad boys getting absolutely wrecked by that Medusa. That feels really bad. Now, one Scourge Hunter Chariot does get hammered by the barge, and we do see the Master of Puppets is going to be attacking, so the Dark Elf Master is going to be attacking the side, but the Dwarven Gun Crew actually able to put some firepower down and force that Master back. Also, the Slayer Pirates. Slayer Pirates are able to turn about face, put some firepower down into the Master, and chase him back. All right, so the Dwarves are going to make a play for the next objective. They're going to leave a Dwarf Warrior here to kind of hold on this point. Medusa is going to keep fighting over here on the side, so we do see the Bloodrack Medusa shooting into the Dwarven Warriors here, and let's see, is she going to get it? We will find out today. Hey, Markov, thank you for the donation, man. Thank you. I'll take a look at it. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. All right, so Dwarf Warrior going to be blasting into, or getting blasted by the Medusa, but now the Dwarves going to be using their Elite Infantry Brick to move up and take objective number 2, the slow grind. And the Thunderbarge has already gotten about 500 value, and it's only going to get more value as it keeps chasing. It needs to get its broadsides going, so it's able to really shoot from the side here. And what the hell spell is that going to be? Okay, so we're watching. Lesser Doombolt. Okay, Lesser Doombolt coming in from the Doomfire Warlock. So the regular Doombolt is banned, but that one is not. But Thunderbarge still generating good value. That's going to be a nice Purple Sun, won't you come and wash away the Dwarves. So that is going to be washing away a lot of those Ironbreakers. So really, really nice one there. Some 90s Grunge Rock coming in from the Supreme Sorceress. On the back, double Rangers being called. Rangers will be useful at poking down the Medusa. And now the Barge is going to be advancing. Now, it's a little bit dangerous for the Barge to go in open field. If the 2 Dark Elf missile pieces are able to shoot, it could be a problem for the Thunderbarge. Granted, one of the Dark Riders is already getting pounded pretty badly by the broadside shooting. You can see they're shooting, and the Riders are going down, and now the Thunderbarge is going to be turning about face and heading about the other way. Long-Drawn Slayer Pirates, though, being a really nice screening piece. The Dwarf player is basically using these Slayer Pirates to screen out a lot of the threats, and now the Druchii are going to be making a play for the Dwarves' home objective here. The Medusa gets on the point. We also get the Witch Elves coming in. Witch Elves going to be engaging versus the... Oh, we got the naked person fight. All right, it's going to be the Doomseekers versus Witch Elves. Now, Witch Elves will actually trade extremely cost-effectively here, but they're still going to lose the fight. The Doomseekers are just much more elite, much more expensive, but Witch Elves, this is what they're all about. They like this trade. They'll do very, very well here. Chino Skuro, thank you for resubscribing. Max Ben Jim, you as well, brother. All right, so the fight rages on. We do see the Thunderbarge flying and the Dark Elf Masters attacking and chipping wounds wherever he can. Currently 7,000 HP on the Thunderbarge, but the Thunderbarge able to help in the fight here, blast some of the Witch Elves on the way out. And now the Dwarves able to get their Rangers in position. The Rangers are leading the way, and they are putting some hurt down on the Bloodrack Medusa. And now Hargoneth Executioners coming out. All right, so Hargoneth Executioners are pretty killy against infantry. They still will lose the Doomseekers, but Doomseekers are very damaged, so maybe they're going to be able to win that fight. We'll have to see. Back in the middle objective, Thunderbarge is slowly getting worn down, but the Malachai's Persuader is active, so Kaisen's Persuader. It's going to be healing several thousand HP on the Thunderbarge. Scourge Runner Chariots in the middle, running over the Norgamling's Ironbreakers, and I like this play a lot. He's using Malachi Makaisen, the Dwarf Lord, on the ground with his long rifle to actually try and get rid of the Dark Elf Master. So he's shooting up at the Dark Elf Master, and 1700 HP right here. He's going to take aim in a moment and shoot, and we'll see what kind of damage gets done. But the Master is doing good work against the Barge. The Barge is getting a little bit lower. However, it is generating good value. It's already gotten 2400, which is really, really strong. Back here in this fight, we do have our pit fight. It is going to be the Miners in tandem with the Doomseekers fighting a 2v1 fight versus the Hargoneth Executioners. Hargoneth Executioners are probably one of my favorite looking units in the game. I think they just look so incredibly badass. Like those masks and their sword and just like the whole archetype, their whole design is just so freaking rad. But the Doomseekers are actually being defeated with their Dwarven Miners, not before doing some big damage. Doomfire Warlocks getting on top of the Rangers here. But the Dwarves going to be calling in some big heavy weaponry. We do have the Grim Delvers. So the Grim Delvers are called out. Grim Delvers are really good at mowing shit down. And right now they're mowing down the Doomfire Warlocks. And we're going to see if they can finish off the Hargoneth Executioners. Back in the mainline fighting, the dreaded Thunderbarge is going to be circling. We do see it sitting at 2900 value. So this thing is what, 3400 gold or 3800? I can't remember, but it's getting close to paying for itself. But the Dark Elf Master, looks like he hasn't been able to connect super well. And here's a little bit of a weird thing about the Thunderbarge. If you attack it from the backside, your units will struggle to hit it if hitting it at all. But if you attack it from the side, so if you move the Master around and attack it from the side or the front, he would actually be damaging it. So a little bit, Razak, if you're watching this back, that's a little tip right there. Thunderbarge would probably already be dead in that case. All right, guys, moving up are the Grim Delvers, and they're going to be unleashing a hellish salvo on those guys and melting those elite infantry. But the Thunderbarge going down is going to be tough. It's not long for this world. You can see it's very, very low, sitting at 148.3 HP. So Razak needs to get that thing and go around the side. It's a little bit of a haggard bug, but that's what Total War Warhammer is. Witch Elves trying to push through onto the Grim Delvers. Grim Delvers are good fighters, though. They have 35 and 36 for combat stats. Should be able to fight those off. In the meantime, the Thunderbarge does get the Persuader, but is broken. And at the very least, even though the Master isn't going to be able to connect, he will be able to chase it off the battlefield. So he's going to be paying for himself there. Dwarves cackling on the middle objective. Norgamlings, Slayer Pirates, and Blasting Charges able to hold that one down. A couple of Repeater Crossbows trying to shoot into the Giant Slayers over here. And back here towards the objective number 1, we do see the Dark Elves moving in with Hargoneth Executioners as well as Witch Elves here. And the saga continues as Dwarves now going to be calling in wave after wave of Blasting Charges. And even though Dark Elves are up a little bit in value, it's still a close game for sure. You have to remember some of the healing value on the dreaded Thunderbarge will mitigate some of the value advantage. However, I mean, the Thunderbarge is going to get routed now. This is the one thing that the Master is doing very, very well, is chasing this thing off the battlefield. So that's an incredibly good play right there. Moving on up, we got 2 Dwarven Miners going to be hitting the objective. Bleak Swords are chilling here. Blasting Charges going to be unleashing what they can as they fight in the muck and mire of Nurgle swamps. Nice Blasting Charge. That's certainly not a place to, want to end up, is in a Nurgle pit of filth. But, sometimes in the old world, you cannot choose your fate. And, ladies and gentlemen, Miners moving on up. Yeah, it looks like they did they added symbols to the objectives. That's pretty cool. I didn't even notice that. Okay. So, yeah, they added little faction symbols to the objectives. Nice little thing in one of the recent patches, I guess. All right, Grim Delvers are going to be cruising up for a bruising, and the fight in the pits continues. The Dwarves do outnumber them, and the Dwarves do have the the point advantage right now. They have 723 points against 530, and it looks like they're maybe going to be able to grab this last objective as well. Now, Coldland Dread Knights. Oh, dreaded Dread Knights, baby. Let's go. All right, Dread Knights are going to be really good against this Dwarf army. Now that the Thunderbarge is offline, it's going to be able to hunt down quite a bit. So Ironbreakers are not going to be long for this world. These guys are super, super heavily designed to kill elite infantry. They hit really hard. They have 50 melee attack, of course, with the Murderous Prowess active. It's even more nasty. And, yeah, they hit hard with tons of armor piercing. So this objective is going to be remaining in the clutches of the Dark Elves. But the question is, are the Dark Elves going to be able to get the massive amounts of armor off these points? And I would probably be inclined to say no. I don't think so. The Dwarves just have so much cheap armor coming onto the battlefield. And the Dark Elves, remember, this is an all-comers tournament. So it's not like the Dark Elf player was able to, build a list with tons of AP. Now, he does have some good AP options, of course, and the Purple Suns have been doing really, really good this game. Purple Sun, won't you come and kill some more Dwarf infantry? But it's going to be tough. The Master of Puppets has done his job, so the Master chased the Thunderbarge off the battlefield. So despite not getting a ton of value, That's 100% worth it. Yeah, that's quite big. Back on the middle point, we do see the miners hanging in there, battling the dreaded Dread Knights, and Dread Knights will massacre them, but Dwarven miners do have good AP values, and blasting charges are going to hurt a little bit. You can see it tickles them. Malachi McKyson providing a little bit of capture weight, and what the Dark Elves need to do right now is they need to park both of their repeaters on this objective and start wrestling the capture weight, because the Dwarves are getting closer and closer to 1,000, man, and it's going to be tough. Oh, this is really big for the Dowie. Or not the Dowie, for the Dark Elves. I didn't see they still had this. So the Medusa is still on the battlefield, currently sitting at about 2,000 value, and the Medusa is going to be able to just keep nuking Dwarf Infantry. So they do have some good armor-piercing values, that is for sure. Grimdelver's still on the table, so Dwarves going to be moving their elite guns to the middle, but the Dark Elf player immediately sees this. Oh, but nice blasting charges coming in from Death by Ricochet, able to nail those Dark Riders, and now they're just going to get mowed down and probably lose that fight. That was a really nice intercept right there. Dwarves losing the middle right now, but they have an absolute tide of units coming in. Dwarf Warrior, Miners with blasting charges, Rangers going to be pushing in as well with a little bit of ranged DACA. And the Dark Elves, the Dread Knights are trying to carry this game. They've got 500 value so far, and we'll be able to chew through a lot of these infantry, but I don't think they can take that many. Dwarves are really, really numerous. They're kind of playing like Skaven right now a little bit, now that their Thunderbarge is gone. Soulblight activated, and the Dread Knights are going to be opting to take the fight. I don't think they're going to win that. That is so many crappy armor-piercing chaff units that for sure will drag down the Dread Knights. It's going to take a while, but they'll get there eventually. Now, the question is, can the Dwarves get another objective back? We have a very good close game here in our first round. I'm loving it. It turned out to be pretty even, which is very fun. Dwarf Warriors up at the point, and ammunition for the Dark Elf Dark Riders is going to be waning here, so they are going to be running out soon. Bolt Thrower currently sitting at 1,200 value, and that was another thing that was really helpful against the Thunderbarge, was having this. Shooting at it the entire game. Bolt Throwers are actually pretty good against Thunderbarge. They connect really consistently, and they can wear it down over the course of a long game. In the back, Rangers moving up. Rangers going to be a very good counter against the Witch Elves if they can set up their firepower. We'll see if they can. Dwarves able to eventually grind this one down. And yeah, the Bleak Swords and the Dread Knights being fended off here for now. Some of the Dread Knights did move into the secondary, causing some havoc back here. Are the Dwarves going to be able to get this one? It's really close, actually. It's really close. If the Dark Elves are able to hold this, that's going to be big. So we do see some Doomfire Warlocks arriving, and Witch Elves. Nice hold there by Mr. Razak. And the Witch Elves do get up on the point. They got their blades out, and they are going to keep karate chopping. And yeah, they are a pretty good counter against these low-tier Dwarven infantry, because they have good combat stats. They have bonus first infantry, hit really hard. And it looks like the Dowie are going to be forced off that point, guys. That is huge. That is going to give the Dark Elves a ton of time to get back in the game and really, really make this game quite close. Now back here towards Objective 3, it is held by the Dwarves, but they are getting worn down. The Master of Puppets has come back in, and he's pulling their strings. And we do also have the Dwarven Miners defeating the Golden Knights here, or Dread Knights. So they're going to be moving up with the Long-Drawn Slayer Pirates. The Dwarves, if they want to win this game, they can't afford to lose this objective. They need to at least solidify one objective, trade effectively there, and then try and weasel another one out here relatively soon. Malachi McKyson going to be setting up. We have the Duel of Fates. Oh, that's so cool. He's got his rifle. He's going to be taking some pot shots at the Medusa here. He does miss one of them, but the Medusa does take some damage, and probably getting in melee would be a better bet for Malachi, because his character is an anti-large fighter, the Medusa, and Malachi is probably a better melee combatant. It's hard to say. But up in the point, we got Bleak Swords as well as some Dark Riders and the Master fighting. Long-Drawn Slayer Pirates are very good fighters. They do also debuff the stats of all nearby enemies. More Dark Riders being called in. Dark Elves do have the value lead, but with healing, it's probably closer than you'd expect. The Dwarves do get steamrolled off the side objective, so the Sorceress, the Witch Elves able to do some really good work, and the Doomfire Warlocks were able to 3v1 that. Now the Dwarf Tide, how are they going to do this? If the Dwarves, for example, for anybody who's like trying to do some quick mental math, if the Dwarves are able to get 1,250 points before their opponent gets 1,000, then that's how you would tell they're going to be able to win this. Very, very simple way of doing it. Malachi being an absolute Giga Chad here, he's going to be fighting the Medusa. Medusa's at 650 HP. And even if it runs, he's going to be able to shoot it. And it looks like the Medusa is going to be turning and running. And Malachi is going to be going to address another threat. Maybe figuring the Medusa is going to flee off the battlefield. So Malachi coming on in. And the Long-Drawn Slayer Pirates are being overwhelmed a little bit, guys. Dwarves are actually losing capture weight here. He needs to rally all these units. And uh-oh, that's actually a lot of units going to the objective number 2. The Dark Elves could for sure lose that one. But I think they're going to be able to get this one in the process. The Repeater Crossbows and the Giga Chad Harganeth Executioners are back, ladies and gentlemen. The big elite killers of the Druchii. And they'll make very quick work of the Long-Drawn Slayer Pirates. Slayer Pirates are more of a support unit / range unit. In melee, they're good fighters, but against elite, infantry like Harganeth, it's going to be very, very bad. All right, so the Dwarves are going to be waddling to Objective 2, seeing if they can grab that one. They have a full health Giant Slayer, so they should be able to get it. And currently, as it stands, it's very, very tight, but the Dark Elves would win on 2 points from here. Malachi McKyson fighting it out. Miners moving their way up. Long John Slayer Pirates trying to battle the Harganeth Executioners, but having a hard time. Malachi is a good fighter, but doesn't have a ton of AP. So might struggle getting through that. Uh-oh, the Dark Elves might be throwing the game, letting their Lord get surrounded by the Giant Slayers. Giant Slayers hit really hard. I mean, if the Dark Elf Lord were to die, that would be a huge leadership penalty on the entire Dark Elf army. But she's hanging in there, man. Really good leadership. I mean, despite being really low and taking a big beating from these giant power mullets here, she's able to get away and avoid that. All right, guys. So we do see the Dark Rider shoot again, and the Giant Slayer is probably just going to be kited and surrounded. So these guys have 5 capture weight, and each of these cav units typically has around 4 capture weight, depending on their remaining health. So you could just run circles around these Giant Slayers and make sure they can't capture it. Totally an option. No, we're not. We're just using the regular army limits for Total War. Yeah, the Creative Assembly unit caps, which are pretty good. We use them for almost all our tournaments, so. All right, Giant Slayers chilling on the objective, but they're just going to be pulled apart most likely. And for the first time in the game, the Dark Elves are going to be pulling the points lead. We do see a Spirit Leech going down on Malachi. Of course, he's an unbreakable Slayer, but Repeater Crossbows, oh, he might get Last Samurai here. Malachi's sitting at 420 HP, 420 blaze it, bro. There he goes, okay. But he's eating a lot of firepower. Don't know if he's going to get away. Slayer Pirates only have 3 models. The Dark Elves should for sure try and finish him off. That would be very, very strong. And I think the Dark Elves have officially taken over the game. What a close match, guys. Man, oh man. Like, the Dwarves kind of looked like they were behind. I actually predicted the Dwarves to win that. I thought that their armor check was going to be enough, but I was wrong. The Harganeth Executioners coming back in. Didn't really think that they would be able to get back so quickly and make such a big difference, but they did. And really, really brilliant gameplay. That was super fun. All right. Harganeth able to hold it down, and they got 256 kills. Very cool. You know, these tabletop tournaments can make some units work that normally wouldn't be viable. Very neat to see them. And the Thunderbarge was the big thing. The Thunderbarge was killed rather quickly. If his Thunderbarge didn't break and get chased off when it had like 3,000 HP, could have been a bit of a different story. You know, it would have fought a little bit longer, maybe evened out the game, but it broke a little bit too fast. Hey, Williams, thank you for resubscribing. And CH, thank you as well. Appreciate you guys. All right. The battle is on, and the battle is over. There it is. The Dark Elves going to be claiming victory in round 1. Now, this is a 5-round tournament, so individuals will have 5 rounds to play. But that was a great game. Really fun. Really, really fun. 234, 992, 443, 1,700, and 3,000 on the Thunderbarge. It didn't quite pay for itself, though, right? So that's what it'll cost you. And the rest of the army was just classic cost-effective Dwarven chaff. Just to swarm objectives was the idea. Dark Elves, cool build, man. Scourge Hunters did okay. You know, one of them did okay, at least. Medusa was a hard carry, though. The Medusa really, really punching up. 2,600 value on this thing is a chef's kiss. It's a thing of beauty right there. And the Dark Rider Peter Crossbows. Let's look at those. Not bad. Really doing quite well. Master of Puppets was great. Without him, he didn't do a lot of damage, but without him, the Thunderbarge would have rallied and come back. And that could have been the end for the Dark Elves. They probably would have lost the game if the Thunderbarge had come back, so... GG, well played. All right, so let's see what's cooking here. All right. Checking, and let's see what these guys are saying here. Okay. Perfect. So just chatting with the players right here, and let us see what's going on. I'm doing really good, Doctor. Thank you for joining. Yeah, we're just in round 1 of the tournament right now, so we're going to go check and see what is cracking. Refreshing this. Okay. And Stinger should have a buy round point. Let me see if he does. All right, so I need to give him a buy round point. Perfect, perfect. Then we're all good. And then we're all good in the neighborhood. So we got 5 rounds of competition, followed by a semifinal and a grand final. Yes, I will show you guys all the competitors here in just a moment, and we can even look at some of their lists if you guys want to. So we can pull them up and look, and we can do it to it. So we only have 2 games to go. The rounds should be a lot quicker in theory because of the fact they don't need to spend like 10 minutes building an army. They just load in as soon as you get into the lobby, basically. So that's very, very simplistic. I was just playing some tabletop last night, so I was inspired. I was like, all right, let's go. Although it wasn't Warhammer, but close enough. Lord of the Rings, it's adjacent. When is the season finals? Going to be soonish, probably. I would say in the next month we'll probably schedule the season finals. What faction would you bring and roughly what kind of list? I'd probably play the Empire. I'd probably, Skaven, I have a really good Skaven all-comers list. It's basically just, it's what I use the same Skaven list almost in every match with slight adjustments. And I've gotten to the tournament finals twice with it, so I think that would be pretty strong. Hey, Dr. Ripper, thank you for becoming a channel member. Appreciate you, boss. All right, cool. So looking at the participants for today. So here we go. Let's switch over here. I did. The Balrog. The Balrog was... I didn't kill the Balrog, but I was able to win on points. All right. So here's all the players. You can see the matchups here. Anticity was able to defeat Maximilianaire. And a couple more games going. So we have these games right at the bottom here. And when those guys are done, we'll advance to the next round. You can see all the signups and see who's been able to win their first round here. Should be quite a bit of fun. Should be quite a bit of fun. Yep, here's all the players. A lot of folks. Some people didn't check in. Daniken unfortunately dropped at the last second. Would have been fun to see them in action, but all good, all good. Yeah, we had a really fun match last night with my buddy. So I just finished painting his Balrog for him. I put it up in the community section if you guys want to check it out. The Balrog versus... I was playing the Garrison of Athelion, which is a really fun list. It's basically a Gondor list that uses Faramir as its leader, and it gets, normally in Middle-earth strategy battle game, only 33% of your army is allowed to be bow units or range units, but the Garrison of Athelion is a ranger list. So they have a special rule that lets you bring 50% of your army as bows. So you get a shitload of bows. It's just a lot of shooting. And so I brought that. It had Faramir, Damrod, and so it had Faramir and the 2 ranger heroes. And then I had a bunch of Rangers, Warriors of Minas Tirith, and I had Smeagol, Frodo, and Sam. Because that list is representative of the scene in the films when Faramir captures Frodo, Sam, and Gollum. So it has a really interesting rule that if at the end of the game Smeagol, Sam, and Frodo live, you get 1 victory point for each of them you kept alive. So the idea is like the Rangers are protecting the heroes. It's a really fun list. I love the Middle-earth strategy battle game. It's hands down my favorite tabletop game right now. It's so good. It's thematic. It's good. I mean, it's been great. No Grima. Well, I use Grima Wormtongue in every Isengard list I have. He's amazing. I mean, except the Siege of Helm's Deep list, which you can't use him, but it's very strong. Good to be back some Warcraft 3. Yeah, don't worry. It's not going anywhere. So you find people that... Yeah, one of my buddies I went to high school with plays, so we just meet up every Tuesday and play, basically. Yeah, he's we played football together back in the day, and I've known him forever, so he's always down to party. He only has Moria, though, so he plays Moria every week, and I usually bring something different. He likes his Balrog, for sure. All right, let me check, see if the round is done, and we're going to be advancing to round dose here in a minute. And cool, the round is done. We're going to be advancing right now. Hey... Most Alone, thanks for becoming a channel member. Appreciate you, boss. All right. And we are ready for round 2. Advancing the Swiss. There we go. And perfection. So round 2 is up. Let's go ahead and get this. And let the players know. Round 2. You guys, we're going to do a really funny list right now. I have a treat for you guys. Lobby code. So we're going to do Scrambled Egg Specials. He has one of the weirdest lists I've seen. It is so evil. Oh my god, it's so evil. All right, I'm excited for this one. So we need to give Mr. V a buy round point. Okay. So Mr. V should be around here somewhere. There we go. So let's give you your buy round point. And let's freaking get it. Will we be getting more Age of the Ring in the future? Yeah, I'll go back to it eventually. I'm just enjoying Dawn of War 1 a little bit more right now. So, you know, I play what I'm enjoying. It's kind of the recipe for, you know, being happy around here. Record and upload your matches. Yeah, maybe I could bring a little handheld camera. It wouldn't be like good quality, but maybe we could upload one of our battle reports. Once I get a battlefield going, we'll upload one. Hey, Mostalon, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. For Lord of the Rings Tabletop, their official campaigns. Oh, dude, there's tons of stuff. Yeah, you have the narrative missions, the campaigns, the escalation. Like, they have... It's really good. And the Lord of the Rings tabletop game is much cheaper to get into than any of the other Games Workshop games. It's very cheap to get into. comparatively, especially if you have a 3D printer. Then you're just cackling. You're a cackling villain there. All right, you guys ready for the glory? We have just an ultimate Chungus Ogres list here. Okay, so F is the lobby name. He forgot to put a password on it, so we just need to find it. Oh, stop it. Bad Haggard client. It's still better than frickin', what's it called? Dawn of War, that's for sure. Dawn of War's lobby system is horrific. I'm confused. Is this like D&D? Are you talking about Lord of the Rings? Lord of the Rings tabletop is similar to 40K. Yeah, it's smaller scale though, typically. Unless you're playing like a goblin army or something, the armies are pretty small. But yeah, it's like a skirmish game. But you can bring horde armies if you want. Like, for example, let me show you. We can pull it up while we wait. So we have Scrambled Egg Special on Ogre Kingdoms. It's so good. Is there a loser's bracket? No. So how this tournament works is, it's a Swiss tournament. So basically, you play round 1, and then if you lose in round 1, then in round 2, you're going to play somebody who has the same record as you, another person who lost. So even if you lose, you can still make the top 4 at the very end by going like 4-1, for example. And then you get your points added up here, and at the very end, the individuals with the top 4 scores here are going to be advancing to the grand finals, basically. So, yeah. Yeah, no, the Lord of the Rings game does have narrative campaigns you can play, but they're used with the miniatures and the same rule sets, but they just have different special rules, like, and it's really easy to replay all the scenarios from the movies, like the Siege of Helm's Deep, because Lord of the Rings tabletop game has really good rules for like building destruction and for like terrain and all that. Like, it's really fun. Like, if there's like a ledge, like characters can choose to jump over ledges and like make heroic moves like that, but there's a chance they'll fall if you roll a 1. It's like, there's some really fun stuff. What if you win in the first round and lose in the second? Yeah. So if you're looking to like win today's tournament, you pretty much have to go at least 4-1. If you lose 2 games, your chances of making top 4 are pretty much slim to none, unless it's a really small tournament. All right, so we got Ogre Kingdoms versus Bretonia here so far. It looks like, I'm not sure what he's playing. All right, so yeah, this website's really good. If you guys want to like look into hold on, there it is there. Okay, outstanding. Yeah. So if you guys are interested in like looking at Middle Earth armies, this is the website I use. And even if you don't play the game, you can look through all the different lists and models and stuff. It's really, really quite good. So for example here, you can take a look and see. So last night I played the Garrison of Athelion. So as Faramir, I used warriors in the front line and then rangers in the secondary line, Madril, Damrod. So this is the list that doesn't have Smeagol and Frodo and Sam in it, but you could always add them if you had the points. Yeah, they're a bit of a point sink, but you could add Frodo, and then you can add, Smeagol and Samwise. You can see your army special rules here. You can see your break points, because in this game, when your army gets below 50%, they start to break and run. So it's, it's, some armies don't, but for the most part they do. But yeah, there's tons of great lists. So you can go back to the rosters, and you can click on create, and then just go to any army. Like, there's a ton of armies. You still have your The Last Alliance is an amazing list. It's one of my favorite lists. I don't own it, but I played against it, and it's really freaking cool. So basically, The Last Alliance, you choose between Elendil, Gil-galad, Elrond, and Isildur as your heroes. So typically, you would have, Elrond's really good. I like Elrond a lot. But Gil-galad is one of the most Giga Chad fighters in the game. He is a beast. So you can do him, and then you can add a bunch of Rivendell warriors and customize them, and then you do a warband with Elendil, for example, and add Numenorians in. So this list is based on the Last Alliance fighting at Mount Doom. And it has special rules here you can read, and it's really, really fun. They have a rule that when if you charge one of the Rivendell warriors and they're wielding the 2-handed weapons, the glaives or whatever they are, they have a chance of instant killing you when you charge them. Just like in the movie scene when they charge. It's so fun. This game is not only good competitively, but it has great flavor too. It's amazing. Anyways, back to business. Mumakil? What's the maximum amount of Mumakil I can bring in a single list? You could probably bring... I don't know if you're allowed to bring 2. You might be able to bring 2 at 700 points. I'd have to check. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 2 of today's tournament, spawning in here on the south side of the map. It is going to be our Ogre Kingdoms champion Scrambled Egg Special. And here's his list, by the way. This is a tabletop tournament, so players are not allowed to change their lists. They just bring one list, and that's what they bring every single round. It is going to be Crushers with Great Open. So, guys, he went with the dreaded Triple Crusher. Oh, dude, he's going to be crushing. All right. Awesome. On top of that, we do have a Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw for some healing and a Thunder Tusk. This is a supremely evil elite ogre build. Now, it would get hard countered pretty bad, for example, by like that Dark Elf list we saw last round, I think. But it is going to be nasty. On top of that, for the Dinos, for Lugo, he is going to be rocking a battle line of Saurus, including one spear unit. He's got the Saurus Warriors here, a Skink Oracle, Crocky Balboa. All right, so this actually might be a close game. I mean, the Lizardmen are not without their own big fighters, guys. He's got a Skink Oracle here, which has an anti-large missile. He does also have Crocky Balboa and a Stegodon, which are not terrible either. They have anti-large shooting. So this is going to be a really, really interesting fight. So somebody in chat asking, this will be the last question about Middle-earth, and I'll answer more afterwards, but can you bring both versions of Boromir? So there's like 7 different Gondor lists. There's the Reclamation of Osgiliath, which allows you to bring Boromir in his like primo form. You get to bring him as the captain of the White Tower on horse with banners and stuff. His Minas Tirith version doesn't get the banner. You can bring Boromir with the Fellowship, which is a different model. But you could just use the same one. It's fine if it's, as long as he's not wielding a banner. So they have like different versions of some of the characters from different, lists or whatever. All right, guys. So here we go. The Dinosaur's going to be grabbing Objective 2, and the Skink Oracle and Crocky Balboa probably loving life right now, guys. They're just like, yeah, this is pretty chill. We do see the Skink Oracle chasing down the Thunder Tusk. The Thunder Tusk is like, please don't nerf me again. I'm too weak. But he's going to keep chasing here, and that Oracle might be able to catch him and get a shot off. We'll see. On the high ground, Saurus Warriors and Saurus Spears are moving over here as well. The Boromir version with the arrows, yeah, no, there is a mini for that. But people usually use it for dioramas, obviously not gameplay. All right, so a little bit of overextension here by Lugo. Lugo does push in and gets charged and takes a lot of damage. It takes about 700 or 800 damage right there, so he's going to need to retreat back. Granted, he does have Earthblood, so not the end of the world. High ground taken by Ogre Kingdoms, and the outside objective taken by the Ogres as well. And it's soon going to be crushing time, guys. Yeah, it's crushing time. A little bit of a miss micro here. Letting the Skink Oracle get surrounded is a huge misplay. And the Saurus Spears are going to need to move into combat as well. On the backside, we do see the Crushers coming in for a rear charge. Lugo might just be throwing the game right here. Letting that Skink Oracle get surrounded and killed by the Crushers is going to be very, very tough. And no magic is going down. Lugo's going to be advancing these guys in the high ground. I'm starting to think maybe there might be an experience difference between these two players. We'll have to see. But we do see the dreaded Krokgar getting surrounded here as well. Yeah, I think there's a bit of an experience difference. I think Lugo might be a newer player or more intermediate with the way that he's microing his units. But his army certainly wasn't bad for an all-comers list. I think Lugo is very capable of winning this game. But, letting his big caster character get surrounded and bullied that quickly is really, really rough. Cold One Cav are on their way in. And Cold One Spear Riders are going to be very effective against the Crushers, but the Crushers will also return the favor. It's like an evenish fight, right? Crocky Balboa is going kind of hard in the paint here, though. Crocky Balboa is putting a little bit of hurt down onto the Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw. Oh, Hand of the Gods from downtown. That was a misplay. Should have used Hand of the Gods to finish off the Slaughtermaster. That would have been the big play. Now, the Popcorn cohort is fighting here, and Lugo definitely needs to bring his Stegodon back down here to help out. I believe the Oracle is already dead. Or no, the Oracle has rallied. So Homeboy is going to be getting his dinosaur back. That is for sure. We do see the Popcorn cohort getting hit with the Dismember right there. So they are going to be getting pop, locked, and dropped. The value is like close considering. But yeah, letting Krokgar just die here. Letting your caster get karate chopped. And he's kind of forgetting about it, unfortunately. So I think it's just a bit of a micro difference between these two players. But I do think that the Lizard list is actually very capable of winning. Would have been capable of winning this with a little bit of cleaner micro. But it's all good, man. Shout out to you for throwing your hat in there, Lugo. You're doing great, man. Crocky Balboa fighting the hard fight here, going after the Slaughtermaster. He could really use an Earthblood right now. He does connect right there. And the Skink Oracle is going to be using a heal on itself. It's wavering and is going to be getting some support from Kroxgors. Now, these are anti-infantry Kroxgors, which are not going to be amazing against the bigger threats. And the Oracle is going to be breaking once again. Now, what's doing really well, mind you, is the Lizardmen infantry. The Saurus Warriors and the Saurus Spears are trading uber cost effectively, and they do have the high ground objective as well. Stegodon sitting with a Ballista, that's very cost effective, so he's using his anti-large machine gun up in the top there, and going after the Crushers, and actually is able to get a break, and the Oracle does come back. I mean, is there a chance? With Crocky Balboa breaking, it's going to be very tough. Scrambled Egg Special in the back now, going to be calling in Lead Belchers, so Lead Belchers are in reserve for the army, going to be mowing down some of the Saurus Warriors right there. And Crocky Balboa does rally, so what you would want to do now is run up and over the mountain, and you want to get your Oracle over here and Earthblood both of them like 2 or 3 times. Because, guys, the value trading is still freaking even, which is just ludicrous. Considering the micro blunders the Lizard player has had, If he played a bit of a tighter game, I think he had a pretty solid win here potentially, just because of his composition was actually really good against this ogre army. A lot of like cheap spears on the ground, but the ogres have healing too, right? They have a hell of a lot of healing. So the Oracle's going to be on its way back. Crocky Balboa is getting Last Samurai by the shooting. Takes about 700 HP damage right there, so that's very, very painful. Back in the middle, Croxagores are chasing, but the Lizardmen, oh man, I love Scrambled Eggs build. He's using freaking Yetis, by the way. Yetis are super off meta. He's using some sweat, but Crushers and Yetis are just such a power fantasy build, right? And this really does kind of channel the tabletop experience. You know, people love to bring weird lists to tabletop tournaments, and you know, it's always makes for a really good time. Middle objective goes to the Scrambled Egg, and the Dinosaur is now going to be calling in the Closodon Hunters, but they are on their way, and the Oracle's alive. Crocky Balboa getting chased off the map by some Saber-Tusk packs. Spears holding the high ground objective, and the Stegodon. How much value has it gotten so far? About 1,400, but it's tied up by some big heavy hitters now, so probably is going to be going down. Now back in the middle fight, we get the Closodon Hunters. They should for sure pop their Toad Rage. There's no reason not to, but these guys are amazing in this matchup. So it does seem like the Lizardmen have a lot of really good tools against the Ogres here. If you pop Toad Rage, these things would be going crunk nasty. They'd be turning down for what here? On the side, Yetis are battling it out versus Croxagores. Yetis are a bit of a soft counter against Croxagores, I would say. The fact that they have really good AP and Croxagores are really not that great against monsters things is quite nice. Skink Oracle is helping out, but he is going to get Last Samurai here by some of the Lead Belchers, so Lead Belcher is able to put some pot shots down, and this Oracle is going to be shattering and running. Having broke like 10 times, I do think that's probably game. Colossodon Hunters are out, and the dreaded Yeti, the Yeti Spaghetti build, yes. The Yetis and the big Crushers, man, really fun. I mean, I'm curious if Scrambled Egg is going to make it all the way to the semifinals with that build. Yeah, Scrambled Egg is the number 6th ranked player in the world right now, this Ogre Kingdoms player, so he's a really tough opponent. And I suspect that our Lizardman player is a little bit newer, which is great. I love to see him throwing his hat in the ring, and honestly, he had a kind of contested game here against a really good player. So shout out to our boy. He did really, really good. But yeah, a bit of an experience difference between these players for sure. Now, the experience difference does diminish as the rounds go on in the tournament. As more rounds are played, it's going to be people who are 2-0, 3-0. Usually it becomes more advanced players, so you'll see more even matchups. So don't worry, we will be getting that. All right, guys. Star Spear is going to be engaging right here, and we do see them battling it out. Objective number 1, objective number 2 belongs to the Ogres, and it's only a matter of time before they get objective number 3 and probably close the game out. Now on this side, Lizardmen going to be getting some Feral Cold ones, and they're going to be heading on over to Objective Uno. And I really like this change, man. I didn't even know Creative Assembly did this. So they had a patch recently, but you can see they added the factions logo above the banners. So there's been so many situations where you can't tell who owns an objective. Like it's like a sliver away from being captured, but now it's very clear cut who has the objective. So it's a small win. We take those small wins around here. That's pretty great. All right, high ground is Blood Vultures flying on in. There they go. And it is going to be the Thunder Tusk coming up to battle. Oh, Kaiju battle. Oh, yes. The Thunder Tusk is pretty massive, though. It makes that Stegosaurus look pretty small. Though there are levels to this game. If there had been if I were playing Lizardmen in this tournament, I probably would go Dreadsaurian as a mono list where like people can't prepare for it. Oh, for sure. Just give me the freaking Dreadsaurian. Bit of a lag spike there. Hopefully it'll subside right now. We will see. And what do we got? Yeah, Lizardmen trying to get a little bit cheeky on the other side. We do have a Saber-Tusk pack versus the Feral Cold ones. 32 models against 32. 36, 28, 70 against 25, 24, 46. So it's basically the armor versus the damage. I would suspect Saber-Tusks will win that. Slaughtermaster are going to be heading over there to turn the tide of the fight. And the Chungus Kingdoms are going to be able to grab the high ground objective. And victory for Goldtooth, victory for the Ogre Kingdoms. All right, that was a fun one. Seeing the Crushers in action. I mean, good value. 2,600. 800, 1400, Thunder Tusk got 2600, and yeah, so basically Scrambled Egg's entire build is just like all wild mobility and craziness, and it's very, very fun to see. Let's see here. Okay. Sounds good. Cool, guys. So now we're going to take a look at the tourney and see how we're looking in terms of the rounds and all that goodness. Let's refresh the brackets here. And Anticity was able to defeat Abdelzarak. Anticity probably has the most evil list in the tournament. You guys want to see it? Hold on. I got you. All right. Yeah, there we go. So here's Anticity's list. It's basically just like a regular tournament list. It's very nasty. I'm going to pull it up on the screen in just a second here. All right. So that's Anticity's list. He's just using straight up like Forsaken, Seekers, Heart Seekers, and an Exalted Keeper with like some Furies. It is so nasty. I don't know how any of the... I don't know, maybe the Crusher list could actually be good here. The Ogre Kingdoms list that we're seeing might be able to beat that, because Crushers will counter a lot of that army, but then again, Seekers are going to be nasty. Yeah. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. All right, Han Farlow. Hey, I still have not heard back on Discord. Is there a better way to reach you? Let me see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so Han, are you MJ? No, usually... Oh, 9. I think I just responded to you. Okay. And outstanding. So I think we're all set. Yeah, his list is pretty evil. It's pretty evil. There are some really interesting lists on the tourney. As we get the players, I'll pull up their lists and we can show you guys what's cooking there. Anticity is for sure Slanesh main. I mean, he plays the win usually, so... I mean, he'll meme sometimes, of course, when he's doing it for a stream, but yeah, it is very, very evil. There are some players who are just built different, yeah. Let me see some of the other fun lists that I can come across. I mean, there's some cool High Elf lists, too, that I saw. Okay. Perfect, perfect. And Ricochet with the Thunder Barge. Stingers has an interesting list. Yeah, it's very standard. Here's one of the High Elf lists that we have here. So this is, he's got Eltharion, he's got Henry Cavill, some Spears, Swordmasters actually, Double Archer, and some Dragon Princes. Really interesting to see no Fireborn in the list. We can keep peeking at some of the top players in the list that they've submitted here. Okay. Some Dowie Czar here. All right, awesome. Danica Trop did drop, unfortunately. Was not going to be playing in here. Martinius is playing Cathay, so here's one of the Cathay lists that we do have. So let's find this, and there we go. Yeah, so we have the dragon, the Iron Dragon, some spears, Iron Hills, cannons. Pretty well-rounded build, honestly. Doesn't really have any glaring weaknesses. A little bit strange to see, Empress's Chroma, and I feel like they're super good, but aside from that, pretty good. Pretty good. Dark Elf list? Yeah, we had Dark Elves play earlier. They did pretty good. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Okay, perfection. Now we're just waiting for the next round. That was a pretty quick game. So we might have to wait like 5 to 10 minutes, I would say, before we get there. Hey, Turin, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream, dog. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so round dose. Now, if I were to build an all-comers list for Skaven, this is what I was thinking. Like, I was going to play today, but then I was like, I see everybody's lists. It would be kind of unfair because they're sending them all to me. Maybe in the future we'll come up with a better system. If you guys like this format and if it's more popular, we can do it again. So for Skaven, like, Ikit Claw is good in every single matchup. Every matchup. He's just a Terminator, right? So Flensing Rune is good in pretty much every matchup except maybe Dwarves. And even there, it's not terrible. But Skaven hard counter Dwarves so badly, it's not really a big deal. So Brass Orb, and then I would get a couple of these homies. A big old battle line of rats. Backed up by more rats. Jezzails. You always bring the Jezzails. And then I would probably find 2 Globadiers. Okay. And then we would bring a Rat Ogre. And that would be like our starting army. And then we always max on Rat Ogres. Wolf Rats probably can go 2 and 2, like 2 poison, 2 regular, just to kind of have your bases covered. I would say it would be good. Guando Rats are really nice to deal with like cavalry and monsters. And I would say maybe a second Jezzail in reserve could be a good idea. Just in case, because Jezzails are a really awesome counter against some, typically very scary stuff for Skaven. So on top of that, we could mix in 1 Death Runner for Cathay and for Dwarves, just to have the tech there. I think would be very, very nice. Double Globadiers is probably adequate. And then from here, what else do we want to mix in? 1 Plague Claw Catapult could be kind of a cute idea. Warp Lightning Cannon is also fine, but I think with 2 freaking Warplock Jezzails, we're probably okay there. So from here, you're probably just going to go Vermintide. You're going to go Clan Rats, and you're going to go Double Spear. Like this feels like it would be a super strong all-comers list, because This list is good, and like I would say 80% of matchups Skaven are going to face off against. Like, if we look, this build is viable against most of the different factions, right? Like, I would say against most of these guys, you would have a fighting chance. The one thing that's kind of weak about it, actually, now that I think about it, is we cut you, and we cut you, and then cut 2 of these, and we get 2 skirmishers. So get 2 Night Runners to run up and grab the objectives out of the gates, and then the build becomes pretty good, because it gives us some early objective pressure, too. So this would be my all-comers list for Skaven. If you guys are looking to try it, I would say it's going to be pretty good. Okay, so other all-comers list for Empire. I would probably, I would probably go Wagon Party with Empire. Because wagons are really nasty. I'd probably go 4 wagons, honestly. So 4 wagons with, man, Elspeth could be really gross in an all-comers tournament, too. She could be the Punisher. Granted, Boris is a little bit more steady. So Boris, Imperial Griffin, Crush the Weak, White Cloak of Ulrich. Yeah, you probably just do this. And then you're going to want 1 Master Engineer because he has the restock ability. So you just get him on the horse with restock and Mercurial Shot. And then maybe go State Trooper Tide. Now, Hellpit Abominations aren't very good, in my opinion. Yeah, you could have a starting build like this. And then for Caster, man, Metal is probably going to be one of your best friends. Because Metal is good in like every matchup. You basically go Metal Caster with Searing Doom, which is good across the board, and then you want to get Final Transmutation to deal with any cheesers, like anybody who's trying to cheese with like frickin' blobs or like hero blobs or things like that, right? From here, Empire Knights are like always pretty good. Royal Altar of Good Fights are okay, but without life magic, they're a little bit risky. Although I still think they're probably worth it. Cannons, I think we have enough SE firepower, so you could throw in a Sunmaker if you want to get real hog wild, but I don't know about the Sunmaker. Although against like dwarves, and it's funny because like what's cool about this format is you have to like start evaluating the meta implications of your picks. Like, oh, what's the meta going to be like in this tournament? Maybe 2 Hawklands, free company, and then we will just max out on State Troopers from here. Yeah, like something like this would be good, I think. It's got some good tools, pretty well rounded. Yeah. Searing Doom is like good against everything. It's pretty strong. All right, checking on the tourney to see how we're looking. People are getting going here, and we only have 2 rounds left. So we have Claw versus Big H and Matthew versus Daceberg here. All right, cool. And actively cheesing in the corner with the God of Access. Yeah, he is. I'm sure he's doing some evil stuff, guys. He'll likely make it to the top 4. I mean, he's the #1 ranked player in the world right now. So he won the last World Championship, and he'll be back to contend for the next one relatively soon, I'm sure. Dwarves with mass hammers. I mean, you might be able to win a game. The problem with hammers is like, oh man, dwarves just have such a little agency on the battlefield. You really need cannons or range units to like make them come and fight you. Otherwise, you just kind of get pulled apart. War Wagons are amazing. They're one of the most annoying units in the game. I'm telling you, War Wagons are an S tier unit in multiplayer. In campaign, I have played an Imperial campaign before where I had a Doom stack of War Wagons with like restock, and it's pretty gross. It's not as oppressive as like some other lists you can make, but it's fun. A Nurgle all-comers list? Well, that's easy. Nurgle is just so unga bunga. Like Nurgle, you just... All right, Nurgle, you have to decide how you want to play, and if I were playing Nurgle in an all-comers format, I would probably play for objective victory. So we do this, and 2 Nurglings to grab, a couple Marauders with great weapons. If you want to be a real Giga Chad, you could bring Tamarkon, even though that's probably not the strongest pick for an all-comers. But Tamarkon on foot is pretty cool. Although honestly, yeah, I don't know. Did we go Tamarkon? The strongest pick would be the Sorcerer Lord. So let me give you, if you're like trying to win. Although Tammy is good in a couple matchups. Yeah, Tammy could be a menace. So Tamarkon, you know what? Let's go with our heart. We got to go with our heart here because I know we're not gonna abandon our boy Tamarkon. He's so fun. It's my favorite. All right. So then we go Nurgle Caster. Fleshy and Rancid are always pretty good. They're like good in almost every matchup. So you just do that, and then you bring him on horseback. All right. Yeah, Oishi has not been super active. I think he's taken a break from the game. I have no idea. I haven't seen him in a hot minute. Couple Marauder Horsemen. You never leave home without those. And Children of Nurgle, you don't really need that, honestly. So you can go triple Nurgling. And yeah, something like this out of the gates would probably be fine. And then every single matchup you want to max out on Pesties. Not every matchup, but in an all-comers situation. Furies are really good. Probably get 3 of those. Get 2 Warhounds. Forsaken are also quite nice. So mix in a couple Forsaken. And probably you need to find a way to get the Angels of Decay in here. So cut 1 Hound and 1 Fury. Angels of Decay are a must-have for Nurgle. Yeah, this looks pretty good to me. So you have Angels to nuke monsters. Forsaken and Pestigors are amazing reinforcement units. You have a big blob. Tamarkon can fight big stuff too. The lore passive is not very good if you're using expensive spells. So if you're playing Lore of Nurgle, it's really good if you're spamming cheap, crappy spells nonstop. But if you're using 15 Winds of Magic, 16 Winds of Magic spells, you don't really need it, to be honest. You don't really need it. All right. The Fred Durst campaign, yes. It does feel like a spell spam build, yeah, because we're wide, but I think that it's going to be, with Tamarkon, if we're using him, you need to have more healing, because Tamarkon doesn't heal himself, so you need to have Fleshy Abundance, so, yeah. Hey, Wembley, I'm glad you like it, man. Yeah, it's really fun. It's been done before. These tournaments have happened in the past, and it looks like the round is done. Round complete. Thank you, Max. And let's fire it up. And advance the Swiss. Next round is here. All right. So, we have round trace. You guys want to see some evil? Okay, so that is going to be goblins. Round 3. I think we can save Anticity for later. We can do... Oh, Scrambled Egg is going to be a fun one there, too. You can do Panda versus MV. Martin. How many games has Martin won? I'm trying to find one right now. That's a Grojin. So Martin did lose his second game. Is here for the third one. Let me see what Big H is playing. Okay. Don't know what he's playing. Yeah, I can't find the list here. No problemo. So we will do... Trying to find one that's going to be even. We can do Apostate Prostate versus Don't Try So Hard. That sounds like a fun one. Apostate Prostate is currently undefeated, and so is his opponent. Okay, perfect. I think this is Chaos Dwarves. Chaos Dwarves would be pretty good in all comers. With double Death Streaker, you're probably good in most matchups. Yo. Lobby code, please. So we're going to cast Apostate's game next, and he is playing against Don't Try So Hard. I don't know what he's playing, but we'll find out. All right, there we go. Here we are. And let's load in. This is round 3 of the tournament, so it's pretty fast, pretty furious, going nice and smooth here. Tommy Mobby is Lami name, Jesus Christ. Okay. Hey, Shandal. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, my friend. Happy to have you here. So who's the guy spamming 1 unit like tabletop players? That's true. I don't think we have anybody like that, because in Total War, there's limits on how many units you can bring, so it's a little trickier to do. We have Evil Dowie here, guys. We got Chaos Dwarves, and we're going to find out what they're playing right now. What they're playing against. It's only a matter of time. And we've only been going an hour, and we're already on round 3. Yeah, this is a really fast format. We might need to add more freaking rounds. Sub-Commander's next. I find in team games there isn't as much... I think, you know, we're kind of in a very slow point in Total War right now. Not getting a lot of new stuff. Which is, you know, it is what it is. But I think this is like the perfect time for us to make really fun, weird shit. Like 2v2 tournaments, tabletop tournaments, those kind of things. Right, I think is the way to do it. All right, Norska versus Chorfs. All right, so we can look at the armies real quick. So let's see. Yep, so here's the Norskan army. Looks like Marauders, Wolfric, Metalcaster, good choice. Has Javelins and plenty of tools to deal with the terrain. Skinwolves, Manticores. Honestly, that's a pretty solid build. I like that. And for the Chaos Dwarves, he's got a Magma Cannon, some elite, actually, Infernal Iron, Infernal Guard here. Sorcerer Prophet, Kadai Fireborn, and an Iron Demon in the back. I have no idea, Doctor. It's one of the great mysteries of our time. But here is the list. That is what it's going to be for these 2 players. They can't change their list, so it doesn't matter if we look. You know, what they're doing right now is negotiating the maps. Yeah, Norskan player definitely should have... They could have maybe found a way to spend this money. I don't know. It's not a huge deal, though. question is, can players pick different units each battle? So typically, dogs, in most tournaments, yes. You pick a different army every single battle you fight. But in this tournament, we're using special rules where before the event starts, the players pick an army list without knowing anything about their opponents. It's an all-comers list, and then after that, they just play it every single round. So it's very much like playing in a tabletop tournament, which I do all the time. I think one of my favorite things ever is playing in tabletop tournaments. I just love it. Yeah. Okay. Crestfallen, you didn't miss much. You're about an hour late. You missed, what, 2 or 3 games? I can't remember. Something like that. You missed 2 games. All right, guys. So let's freaking get it. Let's have some fun. And let's see what's cooking. You know, I've thought about, like, I've thought about this. I've thought about in the future, like down the road, once Total War Warhammer starts to slow down a little bit, I thought about doing an entire season with this format. So instead of having our standard competitive season, once things have really slowed and maybe we're, covering another game very heavily, we could do this on the side and have like a really fun, like kind of a competitive season with like tabletop style. I thought that'd be fun. Frenchie, it just means you pick one, or Fanchi, it means you just pick one list and play it all the way through instead of switching your list every game. Conquest isn't really my thing. It's a good format, but I prefer Domination. Domination feels like just a really nice mix of competitive and, it was designed for competitive, RTS. The individual who designed Domination mode he's a really great guy. Nakamura, he was one of the gentlemen there was a team, but he doesn't work at Creative Assembly anymore, but he's also an RTS creator. So he has a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel, and he hosts like RTS events. He's like a diehard RTS competitor. He's really good. Like he smashed me up in a couple RTS games when we played. He freaking rules. Just a good guy. But yeah, he designed this for competitive PvP. So, all right, guys, let's break down the armies and let's see what's cooking. So here we are. Norska has a front line of Marauders, which are generic capture weight holding, and they'll fight against hobgoblins well. We do have 2 javelins coming in from Don't Try So Hard. Javelins are good against trains, good against Kadai Fireborn, so actually really nice. If they're not getting hammered by artillery, they could do very, very well here for sure. On top of that, we do have the Skin Wolves, Shaman Sorcerer of Metal, Wulfric the Wanderer as well. And on the far side of the battlefield, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Marauder Horsemasters, and that is going to be it. All right, folks, so here we are. It is going to be Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits in the bushes for Apostate Prostate. These guys are not the, most stalwart of infantry, but they're good at getting up on objectives quickly, and they can honestly fight Norscan Marauders and do very, very well against them. On top of that, front line is going to be Orc Laborers, backed up by Infernal Guard and Blazing Beards of Besheric, so pretty elite infantry, actually. You can see the Blazing Beards going to be moving downhill with their powerful ponytails, so the Steven Seagal ponytails, and getting ready to go. Sorcerer Prophet on a Lamassu is going to be the choice, so he cannot switch it. Remember, the Lamassu is going to be the pick for the entire tournament. Magma Cannon is going to be an S-tier unit here. The entire army here is basically weak against Magma Cannon. A couple Hobgoblin Wolf Riders of Spears playing a little bit of a game with the Marauder Horsemen on the other side. And that is going to be that. All right, folks. Good luck, have fun. And let's have some frickin' fun. Here we go. So 2 objectives going to be going to the Dowie Tsar out of the gates. Objective 1 and Objective 2. And the far side objective is going to be going to the Norscan Skirmishers. The Chaos Dwarves opting not to contest that, which makes sense. They would get probably pulled apart a little bit. Hobgoblins do get the point. First Magma Cannon shot. Oh, give it to us, Precious. Able to get a pretty direct hit and cook some of those Marauder Champions. Okay, so there are some elite infantry mixed in. I didn't see that. He does have some Marauder Champions in there. Okay. The Lamassu character does have Enfeebling Foe, Burning Head. Okay, so it is going to be a Burning Head caster, which is going to be excellent here. It'll be really good against the chaff units. Magma Cannon taking down the elite infantry is very, very cost effective, and now we are going to be getting a bit of a fight on our hands. Marauders advancing up. On the backside, Hobgoblins awaiting in the wings. Orc Labor is going to be advancing down as well. And the Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits unleashing their Ninja Stars against the Marauders before they move in. And the chaff units, a.k.a. the unpaid interns of Total War, are now going to be moving in. So they will get massacred by Marauders, but they'll put up a decent enough fight considering there's 2 bricks of them there. Oh my god, look at the Blazing Beards of Besheric. God damn, they melted those guys. Those Marauders got hammered. Nice Searing Doom there from Norska, able to hurt some of the unpaid interns right there. And the Magma Cannon is now switching onto the Marauders, which is a really good choice, the Javelins, because they're a counter against big threats. So Wolfric is getting a little bit crunk nasty on the flanks. You can see him diving into the infantry, and in response, the Chaos Dwarves are going to be calling out these guys, the Bull Centaur Renders. They're going to be moving through the trees and looking to hunt down Wolfric, and we'll see if they can catch them, and we'll follow them. I feel like it's like Evil Dead when the camera's like going with the evil spirit there. It's pretty fun. But Norska is able to get Objective 1 and Objective 2, so the Chaos Dwarves have relinquished all the objectives during this fighting. They're going to need to get one back soon. Being triple capped is very, very sketchy. Your opponent gets 3 victory tickets per second. Javelins throwing into the Sorcerer Prophet, who is going to be dropping a Burning Head. No, that's actually going to be a Searing Doom from the Metal Caster onto the Blazing Beards, which is brilliant. And here comes the Bull Centaurs with the great weapons. The Bulls are indeed on parade, ladies and gentlemen, and these Skin Wolves are going to get pounded really badly. Even though Skin Wolves are an even trade, I would say that the Bull Centaurs are just kind of a grade above them in terms of combat prowess, and it is going to be tricky. And there's also Lamassu nearby, so the Lamassu is going to be Netflix and chilling above and maybe providing a little bit of support. We'll have to see. Although Wolfric is helping. Okay, Fight or Die activated, really nice. Be able to buff up the Condom Wolves here, making them quite a bit stronger, but the Condom Wolves are completely surrounded. And these little gremlins, the Hobgoblins, are prison shanking them in the back a little bit, and the damage is adding up. You can see some of the Skin Wolves are being dragged down, the Atomic Werewolf Pimp Slaps coming in. But it's not going to be enough, and they are going to be forced back. And it looks like this objective is on its way back to going to the Chaos Dwarves. They now have some Dowizar infantry arriving, Infernal Guard here. Blazing Beards are going to win the fight. Really good Searing Dooms from our Norscan player, though. It's been pretty S tier, honestly. And once again, the Infernal Guard, the elite infantry, going to be getting pounded pretty badly there. We can see them losing about 30% of their HP. But definitely you just need to get them re-engaged. But yeah, Norska's holding on. Oh, what a good choice by Norska. Beautiful. He gets the freaking Miststalkers. All right, so Miststalkers are awesome. These guys are anti-infantry, armor-piercing. They have missile resistance. So they're really good against Chaos Dwarves in general. Although the Kadai are going to be okay. We got Kadai Fireborn coming in. I think Miststalkers probably win that fight because they do magic damage. And have armor sundering too, but it'll be a fun fight regardless. All right, so looking around the map, let's take a look at the objectives. The middle objective does go to the Dowizar. It looks like the Chaos Dwarf Warriors and Sneaky Gits were able to win the fight. But Norska has Objective 3, and they also do have this point. So really, the epicenter of fighting is going to be going over here. Burning Head going to be activated right there, and it looks like it is dodged a little bit, which is nice. Oh, the Burning Head kind of taking a bit of a good angle there on those bad boys. And Kadai are battling it out versus Miststalkers, but the Famir are absolute gigachads. Sundering the armor of these guys, putting them down to 50, and also doing magic damage. That's very, very clean. We got the monster fight. Very cool. So macro look at the battlefield, guys. The value currently dead even. Basically, nobody's ahead of the other by too much here in this game. Back up in the woods, we do have a little bit of a cockfight. A lot of Hobgoblins battling it out with some Wolf Rider Spears, able to chase back some Norscan Skirmishers, and they're going to come collapsing down on this point here relatively soon. Magma Cannon shooting into the Miststalkers, not going to do much damage against them. The best way to kill the Miststalkers for the Chaos Dwarves would be to get the Bull Centaurs on top of them. So Apostate with a bit of a misplay should for sure have these Bull Centaurs going after the Miststalkers while the Fireborn are still alive, but the Fireborn are now going to be crumbling. They're just losing this fight too badly, and they do get defeated by the Miststalkers right there. All right, guys, so Miststalkers putting in heavy lifting. Wolf Riders coming back here to shut down some of the Javelins. So we do see the Javelin Riders, or Javelin Throwers, excuse me, getting run down by the Riders right there. Hobgoblins looking pretty good. Over on the middle, Chaos Dwarves slowly losing this point. I think it's because they moved off with one of their infantry units. A little bit hard to tell, but the Dowizar Warriors trying to hold it. And on the outside, very sneaky play. It looks like the Chaos Dwarves did call in a stealth unit, the Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits. They came across the map. And they are going to be ninjaing this objective. So that is going to help buy them some time. But Norska's really taking over this game. Oh no, look at this! The Dowizar Lord getting handled. Wolfric rarely winning fights, but here he is. Sword of Torvald, 735 weapon strength, and the Lamassu Lord is getting his butt kicked pretty bad. So he's going to be retreating, he's going to be running, and 1300 HP on this bad boy, 1384. Probably not going to be enough. And Norska does look like it's getting a lot of momentum. With the defeat, there's two things. The Lamassu character getting smashed, the Fireborn, and the Miststalkers just dominating all of their fights. Because Miststalkers are such a hard counter against elite infantry. So the Fireborn here, the Blazing Beards, all going to get wrecked pretty bad. And there's a lot of Norscan Marauders and Condom Wolves in here. And Skin Wolves are also a hard counter against the Hobgoblin Wolf Riders. So there's a lot going in the favor of Norska right now. Now, are the Chaos Dwarves going to be able to hold the other objectives? Yes, they are. They're kind of gremlin mode on these. But Norska is very, very far ahead on value, and it's only a matter of time until that starts to show. We'll see that getting reflected for sure. Iron Demon is on its way out. Now, Iron Demons are a great choice here. They're really excellent at running over infantry, especially with the Burning Head. I love that. It's going to be maybe a big terror route combo. We'll have to see. Khmer, though, can definitely pin down an Iron Demon if they want to. We'll have to see. And look, the Lamasi Lord is smashed up, but he's still functional, can still shoot his pistol, and does have his magic still, so there is that going for them. Up in the high ground here, we do see some Skin Wolves being called in, going to be heading to the middle objective. And what is guarding the middle for the Chaos Dwarves? We do see the Orc Laborers, Chaos Dwarf Warriors, and Orc Laborers holding this one down here. Okay. So they are popping it like it's hot, guys. And the Sorcerer Prophet of Fire are going to be heading to the middle and looking to anchor that one down. Chaos Dwarves have basically relinquished this point. They know they're going to lose on this side. So they've just started to hunker down on Objective 2. And their ambushers, of course, waiting in the trees over here, going to be trying to hold this one down. So looking at the points right now, Chaos Dwarves are currently down on points. Norska had them triple cap for a long time, so this is going to be an insanely long amount of time that they need to hold. Skin Wolves are going after the Iron Demon, which does get Plague of Rusted, so Plague of Rust is going to be putting its armor down very, very low. And the Iron Demon is able to escape. Sorcerer Prophet going to be using his pistol, which is smart. Just use your armor-piercing pistol and wear down Wolfric. That would be a very good play. Hobgoblin Skirmishers going to be pulling back, shooting at whatever they can. Manticore now called in by Norska as well. Manticore is going to be an excellent tool at hunting down the Iron Demon and putting constant pressure on that thing. And now Norska basically has a very easy win condition. If Norska just comes and grabs this objective and then holds it for the rest of the game, they just win. You don't even need to try for all three. Totally do that. Condom Wolves chasing, but there are going to be Fireborn here. Now, Fireborn are anti-infantry, but the fact they do fire damage and magic damage basically makes them a hard counter against Skin Wolves. More of a soft counter, I would say, because Skin Wolves are anti-large too, so they trade evenly, but the fire damage is an extra 22% damage against regenerating monsters, which have a fire weakness, or 20%. And the magic damage circumvents their natural physical resist. So there's a lot of really, really good built-in stuff there. All right, guys. Objective here is hanging on, and looks like a Burning Head attempt from the Chaos Dwarves is going to be kind of missing right there. But Norska's going for it. Skin Wolves getting attacked by the Fireborn. Fireborn going to be able to probably melt them. They're one of the coolest looking units in the game, by the way. It looks so freaking rad. Norska's annihilating the Chaos Dwarf infantry, though. We do see the unpaid interns getting blasted off the objective pretty hard by Wolfric with his Sword of Torgold here. And now Plague of Rust activated, lowering the armor down of the Iron Demon to 60, which is not a high amount of armor compared to what it had before, 120 obviously. And Wolfric and the Manticore are going to be trying to take it down. 3,100 HP, 2,300. Wolfric is getting the job done, guys. He's getting low, 1,900 HP, 1,923. The drama continues as the Iron Demon does get karate chopped. Middle objective still being held on to by the Dawizar. This map's a little bit hard to see on, to be honest. That's my one critique, but it looks like the Norskans are going to win. The Chaos Dwarves know the game is over. They lost their Iron Demon, their Lord is dead, and Norska was so far ahead that they're going to be tapping out of the game. GG, well played. Really cool match. Very fun. Certainly not what I would have brought for an all-comers build, but he's 2-0. I mean, he was 2-0 before this, so it was working very well for Apostate. That is for sure. Yeah, fun stuff. Some Fireglaves. Fireglaves are really quite good in the Norscan matchup, too. They can do quite a bit of work. But yeah, the Norska just brought a very generic list, which works well for them in regular tournaments, and yeah, it worked like a charm. It was smooth, and Wolfric actually did something, which was weird. We rarely see that, but he did. So you saw it here first. All right, so let's see what's cooking now, and that is round 3 of the tournament. I will stream actual tabletop someday. I play 40K, Old World, and Middle Earth. Mistalker Value, yeah, let's take a look. Sorry, my admin instincts were kicking in. I was like, let's go see if anybody needs help. Wolfric got 2,000 value, 1,200 here. Skin Wolves 1,400, not bad at all, and Manticore got 1,400, which is really cost effective. Famir Warriors were able to get 900, but they really bullied things off the objective, even though their value wasn't insane. They were big bullies. The Lamasu character felt a little bit limp. He felt like a limp noodle a little bit, to be honest. The Magma Cannon, I don't even know how he lost the Magma Cannon. That was like in his backfield, so that was probably the game-turning play, honestly. If that Magma Cannon had stayed on the entire round, I think it would have made a big difference because it was doing a lot. But it looks like he blundered it at some point, which is probably what cost the Chaos Dwarves the game at the end of the day. Surprised we didn't see Fireglaves come out to clean up those Skin Wolves. GG, well played. That was fun. And let's get ready for the next round, which should be coming up shortly. Any admin shenanigans? All right. Looks like we're good here. All good there. I never played Horus Heresy. No, I never played the Horus Heresy game. You know, as cool as Space Marines are, like a game of just Space Marines, it doesn't excite me too much. Plus, it's hard to find people to play. Middle Earth, there's a community around me of people playing, so at least I can find games. Left the tournament before I could report the score, so it says TBD. All right, Karthus, shoot me a message in Discord. Tell me your name and your opponent's name. And I'll make sure you get your win for the round, obviously. But your opponent can drop, obviously, but you'll still get the win for the round. You'll get your point. Okay. By the way, this Saturday, we're having a faction war. So that is going to be super, super fun. So this coming Saturday at 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're having a faction war domination style, which is going to be freaking sweet. Very pumped for that. So a lot of big Total War this week. Tomorrow we're probably going to do Dawn of War, which is Thursday. And then Friday, I'm not sure what we'll do. We'll do something fun. Mordheim, City of the Damned. Yeah, it looks cool, but I don't think it's something I want to get super into at this point. Yeah, it looks great, though. I mean, the aesthetic of those cities. Does Warhammer 3 have much of a competitive scene? It does, but it's on a bit of a downturn right now. It's a little slower, just because we're waiting for some new stuff, new updates and DLCs and whatnot. But yeah, no, it has an active competitive scene. I see your name is StarCraft 2, so it's probably not comparable to that. But we have a really good grassroots scene with frequent tournaments, and yeah, we're not going anywhere. We're gonna keep doing it. So it's a lot of fun. All right. Let me check here. So let's refresh this. And I just need to do a little bit of admin work here, and then we'll go to the next round. Okay. So his name on website is... Okay, Chad von Karstein. Chad. Okay, so I just need to see what his name is on the website. We should be good. I love watching competitive Warhammer 3, even though I only played 2 online games. Yeah, it's a really good spectator game. It's a little bit slower paced than some RTS games, but it's very fun. The battles are epic. Yeah, they're very, very, very good. Okay, I think that's going to be you. Waiting to see what's going on. Okay, so Lizardman. 2 and 3, so he should have 3 points here. Let's see if he does. Cool, guys. I'll be right back. I'm going to go refill my water, and we will get going in just a second. And I got to drop another player here, so let's do this. Okay. No problem. BRB, guys. I'm going to go refill my water, and we'll see you in just a second. All right, folks, I'm back in business. Thank you for your patience. And how are we looking at the next round? All right, so we have a player dropping here. Got to take care of that. The evil drops coming in. And yeah, man, all's good. All is good. Warhammer 3 is a fine spectator sport. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's it's epic. You know, Creative Assembly has done a really good job with the aesthetics of the armies clashing, and that is one thing Total War does very well. Despite all the jank we have to deal with, you know, it could be worse. All right, so homeboy here is going to be Ricochet. So we're going to drop you, and then Taco needs to have his score adjusted. Yes. Taco dude. Taco dude, let's give you your score here. And Taco dude should have how many wins? 1, 2, should have 1 win, okay. Hey man, I appreciate that, Chiaronimus. Thank you, man. We're not going anywhere. We're gonna stay here as long as you guys want to see it. And by the way, yes, Professor Pone in chat talking about HOM Olden Era. That's going to be super fun. As soon as Olden Era comes out, we'll get my lovely wife, who's going to be the queen of that game, and we'll get Pone Dog and myself, and we'll have some fun 2v2s and free-for-alls and all sorts of great stuff. I'm so excited for that. Heroes of Might and Magic 3, one of my favorite games of all time. It's so good. I mean, I'm not like good at it. I played when I was like 10, you know, but it's great. Do you think with Dow making Game 4? Yeah, I think it could happen, Hellcat, for sure. No, I never played HOM 5. The only Heroes game I played was 3, and then Horn of the Abyss. So I played Heroes of Might and Magic 3 Vanilla, and the Horn of the Abyss is really good. It's a continuation, basically a fan-made mod that, you know, does a lot of balancing and other good stuff. So I'm so excited for that. It's going to be fun. Olden Era. Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era is the name of the game. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So it should be good. Let's refresh this and see how we're looking. Yeah, I agree with you. I have followed high-level Heroes of Might and Magic 3 a little bit. Not like followed it, but I'll watch tournaments in here and there. And honestly, I really... let me show you guys the game. Olden Era. Yeah. Okay, this is the game here. Yeah, Olden Era, Heroes of Might and Magic. So planned release date 2025. Apparently, it's going to be coming out soon. I'm not sure when, but it's a continuation of the Heroes of Might and Magic series. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I mean, I hope they don't botch it. I hope it's good. I'm hopeful. You know, I'm hopeful. But what the hell was I going to say? Yeah, high-level Heroes of Might and Magic 3 kind of sucks to watch. It's a lot of the issue for me is the fact that they run like 8 heroes in their armies and they juggle the armies around. It is the dumbest thing. It's like, you know, it's just is like, you know, clearly I feel the game wasn't like intended to be played that way. It's like they just get like a chain of 7 heroes and juggle the units around and clear the map as quick as possible. I didn't like it too much, honestly. So when me and, you know, my friends play, we play HOM 3, we usually have a rule about like 2 heroes or something. You get like a scout and you get your main army, you know. Olden Era is a prequel. Yes, it is. Yeah, so like some of the factions are going to be very different than they were in Heroes 3. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. You have a duel in HOM 3 that has only 1 hero. That's nice. That's really nice. Okay. Refreshing to see if we're done with the round. We have 2 games still to be played. Let's take a look. It is going to be Pandameister versus MV and Hesha versus Martin here. All the other games are done for now. And currently undefeated players. Anticity on Slanesh. We have Don't Try So Hard on Norska. I assume this is a Lizardman player because their name is quite literally the Lizard Man. And I think we're having a duel to see who's going to be undefeated down here, maybe. I'm not sure. But we have 3 undefeated players. I never played HOM 5. Never played that one. I heard good things, but I never dabbled in the Forbidden Arts. All right. Man, I'm really pumped for Dawn of War 4 too, though. I want to get my hands on some multiplayer. I really want to get my hands on it. Yeah. No, HOM 3 is very, very... It's like a... It's huge in Central and Eastern Europe. Like in Poland, for example, Heroes of Might Magic 3 is huge. Like Ukraine, it's huge. Russia, like just All those Slavic countries, Eastern European countries, they are the kings and queens of Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Yeah. Classic Anticity and his Dark Temptations. I know, Pone. He went for a very evil build. He's using like a Slaanesh tournament build. It's pretty foul. Curious to see if anything's gonna be able to stand up to it, you know? The funny part is if we had a regular system of playing tabletop tournaments and then Slaanesh just keeps dominating, then the meta would shift, right? It would be just like a tabletop tournament where people would start bringing lists that are hard countering Slaanesh's popular lists, right? So there is that. Yeah. If there are two games everyone in Poland did hear about, it would be Hom and Gothic. Yeah, I don't know Gothic actually, but hey, Michael, check out Called Arms, Gates of Osprent if you like Co3, but on a bigger scale. I'll check it out. Thank you. I actually love Company of Heroes 3. I really like it. I play almost every night. I just play off stream with Pwn Dog usually, or late at night. It's a great game. Yeah, Hom 3 was dead after, or the Hom game sucked after 3. I didn't play any of them, but I wouldn't be surprised to hear that. Speaking of like reboots of things being good, I am really enjoying the Alien Earth show. Now, there are some strange elements to the premise, but man, this last episode was so good. It felt like you were just watching like a standalone Alien movie. It was so good. I loved it. This last episode they had last night, like the newest one, was money. It was money. It was like classic Alien experience. All right. So let me refresh this. Have you ever played tabletop skirmish games? I have before, yeah. It's been a long time. I played a Kill Team game like when it first came out ages ago. We're just waiting on the last match, guys. Should be done yet. I'm enjoying Alien Earth a lot. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, it's fun. No spoilers. Yeah, no spoilers here. I think this was the best episode, though. Like, some of the episodes are a little bit, like, ponderous and slower, you know, world building, which is fine. But this last episode had, like, everything. It had, like, classic Alien. It had action. It had, like, cool sci-fi stuff. It was pretty fun. Of Alien Earth. It's the new Alien show. Yeah. Heard it went downhill after a few episodes. Yeah, I think it slowed down a little bit, but then it picked up again. This last episode, let me look right now. Alien Earth episodes. Yeah, it's the one that came out yesterday. It's episode 5. So episode 1 and 2 definitely go a little bit harder. Episode 3 and 4 are a little bit slower, but episode 5 goes hard in the paint. It was really good. Yeah, it was fun. It was such a great throwback. I agree. Yeah. Okay. Let me make sure these guys are actually playing their game. Let me check here. Okay, so Maximilianaire is going into space. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and drop him, and then I need to adjust the big H's score. No problemo. Big H should be here. Not every episode can be a banger like Lost. Wasn't the Lost? So I never finished. Yeah, Timothy Oliphant is really good actually. I'm enjoying his character a lot in the Alien show. Yeah, he plays a synth. I watched maybe a couple episodes of Lost, but that's one of the shows from that era that I just didn't latch onto. I heard the finale was awful. I remember people were pretty upset about that when that happened. Yeah. Oh, The Thing holds up really well with Kurt Russell, the 1980s horror movie. Oh, that's like a masterpiece. I think that's my favorite horror movie of all time. Sabaticus, it's happened a couple times at Games Workshop stores. Yeah, a couple times. Okay, let me check with Homie. Martin, let me know when done. I don't know how they're still playing. This is like, I feel like our game finished like half an hour ago. There's no army building process, so like it must be lag, right? That's the only explanation. He's playing against, let me see here. Let me know when done. It's a Norska versus Cathay match that they're battling it out. Okay. Lost was very good in the first seasons, but I was disappointed in the end. You know what show I was thinking about rewatching was the Shield. I remember there was Michael Chiklis, I think, was the actor, and it also has Walton Goggins in it. I know it had a lot of pretty well-known actors back in the early 2000s. I can't remember if it was good though. I remember watching it on like TV back in the day, but yeah, that one could be fun. They're not able to reproduce the feeling and atmosphere of old movies. It's definitely hard to do. Alien Earth does a good job of using the like retro futuristic technology to kind of make things a little bit creepy and rustic, which I like. Pone says, I'll ban all Lost hate. Event Horizon was great. Event Horizon was like a really, really solid horror movie. The premise, some great actors in it as well. Yeah, I loved it. Event Horizon is probably one of my top 5 favorite sci-fi horror movies. Or just horror in general. I'm a big fan of it. All right, that round is done. Okay. You know, the theory about... Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of people say that Event Horizon is like a Warhammer 40k prequel. Yeah. It's like the warp and the Geller fields or Geller fields are down or whatever. Yeah, it's fun. All right, so we're going to advance this. And we're going to round 4, guys. Thank you for your patience. And all right. So we got round 4. There we go. Round 4. So we have this round and one more round, and then we're going to be getting to the semifinals. Round 4 is officially live. Brackets are up. And who do we want to cast next? Ooh, definitely that one. All right, we're going to do Anticity versus Martin. So let's do that. Lobby code, please. So these are 2 high-level players, both of whom are undefeated. So we're going to do this. All right, let's get it. So Anticity is going to be sending us a lobby code, and we will join in. Here are the matchups for the round. We do have all these players here. So Anticity versus Martin is what we're going to be doing. Apostate and Scrambled Egg are battling it out. And, yeah. Looking pretty good, man. Looking pretty good. This tabletop format feels more honest for some reason. How you like it? I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, it's a hell of a lot of fun. All right, so the Kraken King is here. By the way, we finished... so you remember how Anticity won that beginner tournament for Warcraft 3? I forgot to take a picture of it. He'll have to do it. So I sent Anticity his prize. We painted the miniature of him. We had a miniature custom designed for Homie. And it's basically him riding a Frostwolf from Warcraft 3. And we sent it to him. So it's fully painted. I painted it myself, and I sent it out to him. When he gets it, maybe he'll do a video, or not a video, but maybe just show it on his community section or something. All right. So here we go. Yeah, Universal, it does for sure. All right. So Slanesh, here's Anticity's build. Very evil. Forsaken with Exalted Keeper. He's got a whole bunch of Seekers and Furies. Just basically a Slanesh good stuff build. You know when you're playing your homie in Tabletop or in Magic? Like Commander, and they have like a pile of good stuff. Like there's no theme, it's just like, you know, Sultai good stuff. You know, this is basically Anticity here. He's playing a good stuff deck. Yeah. Event Horizon being a 40k prequel is your favorite fan theory? Yeah, it's fun. So Martinius has not loaded his build yet. This is definitely not his build. This is an auto gen here. I would wager they're working on maps. I'm not sure. They're probably doing pick and bans for the maps. Martinius is playing Grand Cathay. Here's his build, yeah. All right, there you go. Good luck, have fun. Let the sweat flow. I feel like this is going to be very hard for Grand Cathay, because Anticity basically has just like a normal Slanesh build. Yeah. Just like the big mech, Anticity has the good bits for this fight, man. He is ready to go, man. Thank you guys for joining today. Let's freaking get it. Let's have some fun. So Forsaken are not amazing at killing Jade Warriors, but the thing about Forsaken is their speed. They have almost, 48 movement speed, something like that. So they can just get around the board so quickly and grab objectives, and Cathay is such a static faction that has trouble. You know, usually Cathay would bring blimps in this matchup. You would go Blimp City. That's how you beat Slanesh, is going a lot of Flying Air Force, so I don't know. We'll see. Now, looking at the armies of Grand Cathay, who are going to be led by Martinius, it is an RTK versus ODM Civil War. It's going to be Jade Warriors in the front, backed up by the Iron Dragon, who does have the Dragon's Breath, which is good against Slanesh Demons. We have a little bit of shooting, Iron Hail Gunners and Crossbows, a single Grand Cannon in the back, and a Crane Gunner. So that's a hell of a lot of units to protect. And honestly, this is a pretty god-awful map for shooting. So I think Martinius kind of got picked into a bad map here, which is very unfortunate for him. But we'll see if he can pull it off. It's going to be hard. Anticity Slanesh is here, and he is going to be rocking Mass Forsaken, which are the most meta unit for Slanesh. They're very, very good. Forsaken are insane. They require a lot of finesse on a lot of micro because they have low MD. But if you can get them in the ideal fights, they will rip shit up. They're very nasty. Exalted Keeper of Secrets with Melkoth and Pendulum, both are very good against Cathay. We have Hellstriders who are going to be grabbing the outside objective and more Forsaken here. So that is going to be the build, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see how this goes. I'm a little bit nervous for Grand Cathay here. This is already a really hard matchup for them, and their build, I don't know if it's going to be able to take those on. Protecting all those missiles is not going to be easy. That is for sure. Oh my god. If Forsaken had armor piercing, they'd be one of the most broken units in the game. You'd have to make them cost like 1,100 or something. They would be way too strong. All right. Will Grand Cathay endure? Will the Dragon Emperor bless his people in an upset? Now, these players are both 3-0, if I'm not mistaken. So even if one of them loses, they still have a chance at top 4, assuming they win the next game after that. Assuming they do. Undefeated players in this game. Anticity did bring Pendulum in his build, yes. Undefeated players are Anticity, Norska. Martin actually got pared down, so Martin only has 2 wins at the moment, so pretty unfortunate for Martin. This is do or die for Cathay here. If Cathay loses this game, they're basically eliminated from the top 4 runnings, but if they manage to win it, they have a pretty good chance, because they're going to have a really strong tiebreaker as well. Grand Cathay going to be advancing up. Slanesh going to be using its very fast Heretics to grab the outside point. So the 2 Hellstriders going to be grabbing the goodies there and immediately heading over to the middle objective to try and get that one. So each of these units, you have 4 capture weight. So that's going to be 4 capture weight here, 4 here. And infantry have 5 and elite infantry have 7. Not all elite infantry, like Black Orcs don't for some reason. Oh, the cannons! Look at that! The cannon's able to hit over the ridge and actually hit some of the Hellstriders there. Anticity probably wasn't expecting that. But yeah, those cannons were able to draw some line of sight. And now they're going to be switching on to Forsaken, and I would imagine the Crane Gunners are going to be doing something very similar. Iron Dragon going to be going Draconic form. Anticity is probably going to save up for a bunch of Furies and get ready to push. Cannons do clip 1 Forsaken unit, nothing too crazy. And the Crane Gunners are able to unleash and do some good damage, and so are the Cannons. Able to really bowling pin these Forsaken here. So a lot of casualties. They go from 80 to 72 models, which isn't bad at all. And Grand Cathay, I would imagine, is going to slow push up. Typically how they play. Jade Warrior Halberds being called out in the back. Crane Gunners getting some good value here. And in some ways, this map is actually nice because they can deny flanks using terrain a little bit. But now we see a lot of Hellstriders coming around the back. That's going to be very hard because Anticity is probably going to have Melkoths and Pendulum to help out there. The Dragon is watching. It is watching the Slanesh Demon. He's creeping in the shadows. We do get some Iron Hail Gunners coming out as well to kind of keep tabs on things. Martinius is going to be forming ranks at the back. Crane Gunners putting some firepower down into Anticity with his Gremlin Cavalry in the backside. And no objectives have been contested by Cathay yet. But now, for the first time, we do see a couple of Jade Warriors heading up on the map here. There they go. It's going to be 2 capture weight. Iron Dragon's going to be lurking nearby. And where is the Greater Demon? Oh, wow. He's going all the way back here. He's going into the Cathay backfield. A little bit dangerous. If an Iron Hail Gunner gets called out, definitely could put some big hurt down on that character. But yeah, he's going for a backfield Alpha Strike. Man, he's really going pedal to the metal for this. Now, Cathay needs to move an infantry up and get that point. But will Cathay be able to hold the onslaught in the backfield? Cannons shooting into the big demon. Look at that, getting some good damage. Forsaken going to be bum rushing. Meanwhile, on this point, we do see Grand Cathay getting ready to take that objective. Couple crossbows hanging nearby, but the missiles need to come back here and help defend, for sure. Now, Peasant Horsemen do get hit by Melkoth. Not a huge deal. Peasant Spearmen going to be piling in. That cannon probably not going to be long for this world. Iron Dragon's on his way in. Forsaken going to be annihilating Peasant Spearmen. Really, really nice Dragon's Breath attack by Martinius here, but we are going to be seeing the Grand Cannons getting taken offline, and some Seekers find their way onto the Crane Gunners. A bit of a big blunder by our Cathay player. He could have had some spears back there or some infantry in the way, but he should be grabbing the objective during all this, but now we got a big backfield fight where Cathay is probably going to be paying the troll toll. We'll have to see. Their Jade Lancers do come out. Some of the Hellstriders are getting worn down. Forsaken ripping apart the cheap infantry and the Peasant Spearmen. Fury's on their way across, and suddenly it's looking very, very good for Slanesh in the backfield. Looking very, very good. Dragon is Rampage. Seductive Glory has hit him. Cathay does have its Jade Lancers. That's pretty much it. And it's going to be a tap out. Cathay does not want to get massacred anymore, and they didn't have Crowmen. Crowmen are one of the best counters against this type of play because Crowmen defeat the Hellstriders, and they also defeat the Furies, if I'm not mistaken. It's a pretty close fight, but he's just going to give up. He maybe could have fought a little bit longer, but yeah, most likely was going to lose that game. But you know, some people don't like to fight it out when they're on the back foot. All right, so that is going to be, let's see here, half an hour wait for a 5-minute fight. I know it's just Total War in a nutshell. It happens sometimes. Let's see if there's any admin stuff. I don't think so. And we might have a little bit of time. Yeah, Crowman trade very well in the Hellstriders. Let me show you, as a matter of fact. All right, so let's do this and this. And we can do a test. So we're going to do land battle for testing. And we can get Crowman. So Cathay, Grand Cathay, yes, yes. And we can get Crowman versus a Slaneshi Hellstrider. So the thing about Hellstriders is, you know, they're never going to get the charge on you, right? That's the thing. We'll take you here and here. We're going to go ahead and get one of the dragons just to come in and bully that guy away. And then we need to get a peasant back here. Okay, so let me show you this. This is the fastest game. That might have been one of the fastest games. Absolutely. It's still better than 30-minute lobby simulator and to disconnect. Yeah, I know. We got all that goodness there. Sure. Dropping your opponent. Okay, so the opponent here, got to do admin. Stingers is going to get this. And he's going to get dropped there. Yeah, so let me show you guys this real quick. So we're going to go dragon form here. Crowman are usually the counter against these units. So they're going to fly in and they tie him up. They should win that, although of course the AI is stupid. But yeah, the Hellstriders just get ripped up by the Crowman. You can see it's pretty decisive. I mean, even though with the blunder, it still was the case. Yeah. I don't know if he had any though in his list. I'd have to take a look. Three games in a row and City's opponent taps out right away. That's really funny. All right. So I'm going to play a game for fun. We got some filler. I'm going to play against Stingers. Him and I always have very fun matchups. And here we go. Awesome, awesome. And I don't know what he wants to play. We're going to find out. Looks like he's on High Elves. And I can bring... What do I want to bring against High Elves? I'm checking with Stingers here. I'll use my same list. Okay, so I did make an all-comers list earlier. So I'm going to make it again with the Empire. So the Empire all-comers list was this. Oh, shit, I just had it, didn't I? Let me rejoin there and see if I can resummon the list. Okay. Stingers is here. I don't know if there's any more undead factions in the tourney. I'm not sure. I'd have to take a look. Okay, Empire, did it get saved? No. Yes, it did. Nice. Let me check here. Imperial Ambush, yes. So I made this list. So we're both playing all-comers lists. These are not lists that are designed for the matchup. These are lists that were made for this tournament. So it's going to be like a little round here. Why are there no elves? There are elves. Yeah, we have 2 elf players in the tournament. Stingers is still in it. He's a high elf player. He just got, his opponent dropped, so he just got had a little bit of a buy round here, basically. So, all right. And so it begins. So it begins. I don't know why he's taking so long here. What are you building? So this is a wagon build. Wagons are very disruptive. Pretty good against high elves. If he has bolt throwers, it's a little bit problematic. Hey, Feast of Crows, thank you for subscribing, man. Appreciate you. We're about 2 hours into the old tourney. And we have round 5 coming up soon in the next 15 minutes. And I'm just playing a game for fun right now. So let's do this. And this is the Imperial Ambush. So we're going to get probably just the 2 shielded boys. The wagons do most of the heavy lifting in this build. Okay, and then you guys can go and contest this objective over here. Try and grab that one. So that's going to be 2. That's going to be 1 and 2. We're going to get Toddy here, and the Wagon Master, he can roll with his homies here. So we just get a Wagon Corps to go cause a lot of havoc. 1 and 2. And Boris Todbringer. So this is the list I was going to bring today. It might have been able to fight into City Slanesh. I don't know. I feel like the Forsaken would probably overwhelm it because I don't have a lot of good tools to kill Forsaken. You would need like great swords or like Knights of the Black Rose or something to fight them. All right, GLHF. By Ulrich's Wrath. These guys moving up. And so it begins. Okay, perfect. Looks like we got everybody. So we're going to move you up here, move you up here. Let's go get the wagon party coming. And he does have a couple Reavers and Eltharion the Grim with... Oh, he didn't bring any magic on Eltharion. Interesting. Not even Apotheosis. That's wild. So we need to get our wagons out. I do have restock. First things first, we're going to get our wizard. It's going to take us a while to get through these objectives, though. That's for sure. It's going to take us a hot minute. We will get there eventually. The wagons are a long-term trading piece. You know, over the course of a long game, you just kind of get your value out of them. And our Metalcaster is out, so we're going to get the Metalcaster here and just kind of park it in the back. And yeah, a lot of spearmen. We do also have those. The wagons are coming. Toddy's going to head over there, and we do have the Talons of Torquelada as well, which we can hit with Searing Dooms probably. I did bring some Hawklands, which I think will be pretty good. Mercurial Shot also not terrible, and we should be able to get our clutches on the objectives, I'm thinking. So what magic is he using? He didn't bring any magic on Eltharion. He must have another caster in reserve, obviously. Okay, and I don't think he's going to want to trade here. Metalcaster is going to be lurking. I have some free company as well. He's coming for it. Yeah, those spearmen are going to be a little bit tricky. I think I need some Hawklands actually to pop out and kill the archers. That's for sure. And I think he does have some Swordmasters in the mix. I think he does. All right, so you guys move up. You guys are going to get your goodies here. And we can go ahead and run over here and get the Mercurial Shot on some of those archers. Probably going to be fine. All right, so we got the objective, and we're going to call out some Hawklands now, which are going to park up here and just shoot where they can. These spearmen are not shielded, so we want to pull those ones back if we can. Mercurial Shot down the pipe on the Talons of Torquelada is going to do a hell of a lot of damage. And there it goes, and kaboom. Oh, look at that shot right there. That was a beaut. All right, so what can the Hawklands shoot? We want to go after the Swordmasters of Hoeth, probably, although finishing off the archers quickly isn't going to be a bad idea. Toddy's going to come this way, and now we just let our wagons shoot at whatever they want, basically. You know, just kind of enjoy our best life here. So Toddy can go ahead and engage against some of the spearmen in the front. So we're going to charge. We're going to charge, get a free company militia to come back here and help hold this point. Wagons are going to put some firepower down, and Swordmasters of Hoeth are basically just running away. All right, so Hawklands, we can shoot at these basic archers, which is going to be good. And we're going to need to get some anti-large cab out soon. So Toddy's doing his thing. Wagons need to shoot at you guys. And we might need to run back with these Hawklands right now, that's for damn sure. All right, do we have the Swordmasters in combat? We don't. So fighting over there, we got some Rangers creeping. The doggies should be getting ready to party, and Free Company Militia can go here. The wagons can be used as battering rams if we need to. We're going to run you back right now and see what we can do. Wagons are shooting effectively. So we're going to get this. We're going to get the wagons to be used as battering rams right now, and it looks like he does run away there. All right. So what is that? That is a Spearman unit, so we can do a little Searing Doom right there. Probably didn't need to overcast it. That's fine, but I just want to get active with my magic. Toddy versus Eltharion, and now let's go ahead and shoot him, and let's shoot you as well. And we might be able to wear that bad boy down pretty freaking hard. All right, so the side objective is holding. We have the restock, so let's come get the restock on cooldown here. Homie's getting shots, yes, and the long rifles are back online. These are going to be Illyrian Reavers, so we can try and wear those down. Calling some Vampire Knights to protect the backfield, and we do manage to hold on to our 2 points, which is good. Okay, you keep shooting here. Todbringer's going to kind of come back here and creep a little bit. This point's getting sketchy, though, for sure. He's getting a lot of units up here, and he does have the Henry Cavill, so I think we need to come in and actually help against that and see what we can do. All right, Narnia lines are coming. Wagons need to maneuver this way and provide capture weight so we don't lose ground here. We can have you go help out against that, and it looks like the Narnia lines are thinking about attacking here, so we got to watch out for that. Okay, so moving in. Wagons are going to cruising for a bruising, and now we do have access to some options here. Yeah, we're going to go after the Henry Cavill. We got to make sure he gets potentially taken down. Keep shooting at Eltharion. And the cavalry have done pretty good. So we're going to call it another one. Protect these guys. Engineer can come back there and attack these guys and help out. And his lord is getting smashed up a little bit, although swordmasters have arrived. A little bit sketchy. I'm up pretty heavily in value here. So it's hitting you guys. Everybody's doing pretty good. Enemy lord is on death's bed here. And we do have some nice work. Yeah, so let's just keep going after that Lord Master of Hoeth. Wagon's barely taking any damage. We've been able to protect our backfields. And how's Eltharion doing? He's doing pretty good in the fight. So now what we need to do is get a Searing Doom, and we're just going to cast it right on the face of those guys, which is going to be great. And we can bring our wagons around. So the Empire Knights should be winning their respectable fights. Let's get our engineer over here. He can restock one of the wagons that is low on ammo. Toddy's going to keep fighting you. We do have Rangers on the other side, split pushing. And all right, let's get you guys up on the point. Let's get you guys start shooting here. Keep going after the Swordmaster here. And I do have the Final Transmutation too. Almost got this guy down. Do we call in another Hawkland is the question. I think we need to get another Empire Knight to help win some of the fights in the mobility game. Toddy is going to eventually tear out these guys off the objective, probably. The Henry Cavill is offline, the Loremaster. And the wagons are still shooting very effectively. I have enough for a big Final Transmutation, so if things do get ugly, you know, we're on the board here. So go there, go there. And we're going to go ahead and get those Talented Torquelada now. That should be nice. So Toddbringer's fighting like a champ. A lot of spears in the mix, though, which is a problem. Swordmasters of Hoeth do get bullied. So they are down, and now we can call in some more spearmen to move up on the point. Get that capture weight back, because I can't afford to lose these points for too long, right? Can't afford to. All right, Hawklands, start shooting at that character there, because he's a little bit overextended. Let's get in position for a Final Transmutation, and see if we can shoot him with this, too. All right, so I think Toddy and company will be able to get that point back. We're going to get another free company, have them move out there and get that point. Great. So the two Empire Knights have done excellent work. Those are actually Dragon Princes. Oh, shit. Okay. So those are Princes of the Dragons. So let's charge into those Rangers and charge into these Rangers here. Great. All right. So his Lord is on the run. Hawk and Long Rifles can shoot at the Dragon Princes, and we can shoot at the Dragon Princes here also. This point's going to for sure go back to us. We just need to get Toddy activated there and make sure he's really doing his business. Wagons, we can use them as battering rams to shut those archers offline while shooting, which is going to be nice. Mercurial Shot, we could use it on the Dragon Princes here, and we need to get in position for a Final Transmutation. That is for sure. All right, so now on the side, we just need to get the capture rate back, so we're going to do this and this, call you guys in, get two spearmen, and we do battering ram those archers down, which is good fun. And we can go ahead and do this, and that's probably going to karate chop Eltharion right there, that Final Transmutation. It's going to be a chef's kiss. All right, so this point goes to us. And we can get Toddy out here now. Unfortunately, my opponent is going to get me with one like light unit here. That feels really bad. Let's see if we can get you and you to come back here and maybe save those Hawklands. We do get the Final Transmutation, though. You can see Eltharion the Grim getting blasted pretty badly. The battering ram wagons are taking some damage here, which I don't like. Let's use the Power Stone, and you guys can get up on the point here. Let's get you to go shoot him, and the Hawk and Long Rifles. Maybe we can salvage that. I don't know. So Dragon Prince is a little bit scary. I think we can get him with Toddy, though. I think Toddy's going to be fine. And then the next call, it's going to be Griffites for sure. All right, so you guys run those archers down. The enemy lord is running away. Two spearmen going to be gathering up here. And the wagons of doom are just going to keep rolling, and putting a lot of firepower down into those princes, actually. All right, Hawklands do rally. Let's finish off the Swordmasters. And we do have a Searing Doom as well. Royal Outthrow of Griffites is for sure what we need, and my opponent's lord just hiding in the shadows, basically. Yeah, just fleeing the scene. We still have some restocking. Toddy's able to push these guys back, including the princes. Let's get the free company to charge into these spearmen, and you guys go there. I don't think we're at any risk of losing that objective. We're feeling pretty good here. Cavalry able to continue running down the archers, and on this side, yeah, we need to get spearmen in and spearmen in there. Great. So these are what? Illyrian Reavers? Yes, they are Reavers. So we'll follow them and shoot them with the wagons. Try and run a little bit of an interference roadblock here. I think we're doing good. Yeah, we're hanging in there like champs. My opponent potentially going to lose their home objective here. I think we have the tools we need to push up and maybe try and take that. Let's get the middle wizard to fight those Dragon Princes. And the Hawkland's finally going to go offline. But honestly, they've had an amazing run. So over here, we can call out the Griffites. So Griffites are going to dominate everything on that objective. They cause terror, are super menacing, and now we get to make a play for my opponent's home point, because I am doubling their value right now, so it's pretty savage. We're going to go ahead and do a Final Transmutation here and kill the caster. He's going to try and heal, he's trying to bring Eltharion over for healing, but if I can kill the caster before he gets there, then that's going to be pretty big. All right, so on this side, we get you here, get you there. We have the Mercurial shot, so let's line it up down the side, and the Griffites can go right through here and get ready to party. All right, I feel like this all-comers list would have been pretty good, actually. It feels pretty strong. Dragon Princes get a nice charge there, though. That feels bad. All right, reinforces points, so we want to reinforce this. Yes, and we can unsummon you, get you back in the pool, and the Griffites can go in. Are they even needed here? They're not at all, so we're going to come back this way. Push them to the back objective. And, all right. Perfect, perfect. So those guys move in there. We're going to shoot these guys. Let's do this. And Spearmen coming in should be able to save that objective from being threatened. Let's get a free company coming in there, too. Yeah, toddies are really... Oh, down goes Eltharion, guys. We got him. We got him, baby. Yeah, somebody earlier was, like, wondering if War Wagons were good. Well, here's the showcase for you. War Wagons are amazing. That was a pretty sweaty Empire build. But that was my all-comers build for this tournament. If I was going to play today, this is what I was going to bring, so... Oh, Crestfallen, thank you. Thank you for resubscribing. Appreciate you, man. All right. Okay. And let's refresh this. Cool, so we're about ready for the next round. That actually timed out perfectly. There's only one game still going, so GG, dog. GG. Yeah, there's not really a counter to the wagons. There wasn't a whole lot that could kill them there. I just felt like his build kind of got countered by mine. Regardless of how well he played, he just didn't have a lot of agency there to do much against the wagons. Just had to kind of eat it face-to-foot style. I mean, he did have the superior infantry, was able to push me off the objectives initially. Elven Martial Mastery is no match for a guy shooting out of the back of a medieval El Camino. Oh, dude, El Caminos, by the way, are one of my favorite cars. I think they're so cool. They really capture like the epicness of the American muscle car with the haggard redneck culture of America. It's just perfect. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube is like blurry and then a lot of the time and then Twitch isn't. It's very strange. I dual stream on both at the same settings. I think YouTube is just... I've been fiddling with it trying to figure out why that's the case. So apologies if it is blurry on YouTube. But yeah, I'll keep fiddling with it until I can figure it out. Thank you for letting me know. Wagons did really good. El Caminos? You want to see the El Caminos? Okay. Yeah, so this is like an old school El Camino. Hold on, let me show you here. Yeah, these guys are pretty cool. You get the best of both worlds. Yeah, it's great. Okay. So, let's see what's going on here. Haggard YouTube can't afford servers. I don't know. Yeah, YouTube's weird like that. YouTube's been tough all day, watching Grubby and Loco, and it was impossible to get a smooth buther. Yeah. Yeah, because they dual stream on both too, I know. It's a muscle car with a pickup bed. Yeah, exactly. It's like a pickup truck and a muscle car mixed together. Okay, so I just need to see what these homies are up to, and then we should advance to the next round. Let me know when done. So this is a Kislev game. And he's playing against what? He's playing against Dace. Oh, this guy's bringing a degenerate Slanesh build as well. Nice. Perfect, perfect. It also compresses more if you move the camera a lot. Got it. Yeah. Okay, they just finished, so we're going into the 5th and final round of regulation. It's definitely a little faster than the army building tournaments, but not that much faster, strangely. Okay, scores reported, and now we are going to be getting going in round 5. Who will challenge the Dark Lord Slanesh? Find out today, guys. Find out today. So advanced Swiss, here we go. And in we are. Okay, so we have Norska. We could do... Oh, we haven't done a Jay Phoenix game. Let me see what Jay Phoenix is playing. Jay's... Oh, all right. We're going to do a Jay game. Jay's playing Empire. Lobby code, please. Yo. Lobby code, please. Thank you. All right, guys. It is time for Jay Phoenix to feast. We're going to see what this matchup looks like. Lugo gets the bye round here, so let me do that. We only have 2 undefeated players they're playing right now, but we already casted Anticity's game, so we're gonna try and get some shine onto some of the other players in here. See what they got cooking. Okay, let's do this. And get that going. Perfect. And great. All set. So Jay should have the spec slot here. I'm curious to see what this Empire build's going to be looking like. And the next round is now live. All right, guys, get those games going. And let's join with the code here. Let's join this. And it looks like... Ooh, the game name might just be lurking there. Classic Total War. No response from the host. Okay, so we just got to find it. What is the lobby name? So we just need to find that. I think I announced that the Goblins round 5 is live. Okay, so we found Jay's lobby. Should be easy to find. Not appearing right now, so probably need to have them rehost. So we'll be in just a moment. Perfect. El Caminos are pretty cool. My uncle, he's like super into cars. He's worked in transportation and vehicle stuff his entire life, and he has a really epic old school El Camino. I've always had a fantasy of buying it off him someday if I can ever afford it, but it's pretty damn cool. All right, let's do this. And there it is. All right, GLHF. Werewolf Boyfriend Enjoyer. All right, so it is going to be Empire with grenade launchers being the epicenter of the build, backed up by Knights of the Blazing Sun. We do have Hawklands in reserve, a couple other cool units, double wizard actually, so a Bright Wizard and a Melkot's Wizard, really kind of hedging their bets there against different army types. I don't hate it, honestly. I think it's kind of cool. So Jay is currently 2 wins and 2 losses. I don't know if anybody with 3 wins is going to make top 4 today. You can take a look at the current standings and see what it looks like. So the standings for the tourney today are as follows. There we go. So we have Anticity undefeated 4-0. Lizardman undefeated 4-0 also. Norska with 3 wins. And Abdelzarak with 3 wins too. And we have a couple other people at 3. All right. It's going to be interesting. There might be a lot of people with 3 wins. There's going to be 1 undefeated person. Probably a couple people with 4 wins too. But these are all the individuals who have a good chance right now. So we got Slanesh. I don't know what he's playing. Norska. This is a Kislev player, Pandameister, if I'm not mistaken. And then we got Scrambled Egg Special playing Ogre Kingdoms too. Ogre Kingdoms would probably have the best chance against the Slanesh army, but I don't know even. There was a Chad Greases player too. We had somebody playing Greases today. I wish I could have gotten one of their games. The Greases Goldtooth was there and he was ready to feast. Okay, so just waiting for both players to get in here, and it is going to be a Norska versus Empire match. So we have the Empire, Knights of the Blazing Sun, grenade launchers, and Norska with a very, very standard army. Just like Marauders, Spears, Javelins, Famir. Famir aren't super meta, but they make appearances. Yeah. There we go, baby. Thank you guys for joining. It's going to be a fun one today. Round 5 of this tabletop style tournament, and we're going to see who is going to be emerging victorious. Right now, the Kraken King is definitely looking to be a favorite. I don't think anybody has challenged him so far. He's been able to just squash most of his opponents very quickly with some evil Slanesh. This tournament, of course, doesn't count towards the leaderboard. It's a casual tournament. It doesn't count towards the competitive season, so it's still more on the casual side of things, but still get the props for winning, which is cool. So you think extra people should have a few extra funds to make all comers a bit more resistant to absolute counters? I don't think you really need that, to be honest. I don't think so. I think the more practice people got at this format, they'd be able to figure it out. And that does happen in tabletop tournaments. Sometimes you show up and get hard countered. It is part of the beast, and that's why it's Swiss, and you get 5 rounds. So if you lose a game, you're not really technically out. All right, guys, taking a look on the other side, we do have the Norskins. It's going to be Marauders, which will trade just fine with State Troopers, obviously. Wulfric with Laura Boats, very good at clearing out important trooper positions. Burning Head is amazing against Empire. Javelins are okay in this matchup. They can do work against cavalry to an extent, but it's nothing insane. In the back, we do have a Metalcaster with Final Transmutation, a couple of spears out on the wings. Norskin Hounds and the Miststalkers. Wow, look at the deep Vanguard on these guys. They're Vanguarding straight up in their opponent's spawn almost. That's wild, okay. How far could they have gone with those units? I've never actually seen them Vanguard on the side like this. All right. So aside from that, Empire has a lot of Spearmen. Knights of the Blazing Sun are pretty good against Norska. They wreck most of the infantry and also trade well into Skin Wolves because of the fire damage. And yeah, they'll be weak against Famir, but we'll see how they do. Grenade launchers are excellent against infantry. If they're allowed to shoot, they do a shit ton of damage. So it is going to be Blazing Sun, and Empire Knights, and double grenade launcher coming out for Jay Phoenix. So there they go. The grenade launchers are very cool. They have the Capes of Sigmar. They're going to be charging out into the field there. So there they go. Ride out and meet them. Objective 3 going to be captured for the Empire. And Objective 2 is going to be captured for the Dark Gods, as the Norscan Warhounds and the Famir are going to be arriving very quickly. Bright Wizard going over there, but he's not going to be seeing this. He's not going to be seeing these bad boys. The Famir are lurking in the shadows, but if you were paying very close attention, you would notice that the objective is getting captured faster than it should with the stealth unit there, and you would know. But they do get discovered, so the Firecaster of Jay is able to find the Miststalkers of Riz here. All right. So Blazing Sun Knights, this is a bad fight. Miststalkers will trade very well into them with their armor and their armor sundering. You could get Boris Todbringer on top of them. Boris Todbringer, in theory, could do some pretty good work. We'll have to see how that all unfurls here. And advancing up are the Spearmen. So 2 Spearmen coming in. Knights of the Blazing Sun turning around, trying to catch the Norscan Warhounds. On the back objective here, Wulfric the Wanderer going to be moving up to try and troll the point, maybe get a good Sea Fang or something. We'll see. Now on the backside, Empire going to be calling out some Outriders. So some classic Empire shooting. Outriders will be okay against Miststalkers. The Miststalkers do have good missile resist, though. They have an ability called From the Mists, which gives them 50% missile resist when you add it with their basic form. So it's pretty nuts. Trying to shoot them down is very, very hard. Laura Boat's doing work, though. Really nice Laura Boats from Wulfric. He's able to drop it down the pipe and nail one of those Spearman units. So the Spearman does get absolutely obliterated right there, which feels quite bad. Empire Knight's going to be charging downhill, going after Wulfric there. And in the meantime, Outriders with grenade launchers. Looking for a home, but the Empire Troopers have now arrived. And State Troopers will trade okay into Miststalkers. It's not amazing, but the 110 armor mitigates a lot of damage, but overall it's better than some of the other options they have. Now, Empire Outriders putting a little bit of hurt down into Wulfric. He loses about 5% of his HP, so nothing crazy. But Outriders do have a good range at 115 here and should be able to keep him honest, as the grenade launchers of Sigmar are now going to be unleashing here. All right. So the battles do continue. And the grenade launchers are going to be blasting into your boy back here. Wulfric is going to be getting it. Over here, more grenade launchers harrying back and forth, looking for positions, and the Empire is able to steal this objective with the sheer weight of capture, so the Knights of the Blazing Sun and the Spearmen, but that's going to be a nice burning head, potentially. Burn through the witches. It gets in there, and it does nail a lot of the State Troopers, but unfortunately for him, takes a very, very bad angle and goes through the Great Abyss over here. So Outriders going to be pulling back, and grenade launchers doing great work, though. Check it out. The firepower of Sigmar is so epic, as they're able to get this. Reminds me of that, remember that Mountain Blade Bannerlord campaign we did where we had all the grenade launcher cavalry on the Empire? That was so freaking fun. God, I loved it. Beware the wizard is what he said. I love it. The flavor is so good. Grenades, though, are annihilating these Unga Bunga Marauders, man. They're having a really bad time. Empire Knights holding the back objective with some Spearmen, so those guys going to be hanging out over there. And in the meantime, the Empire does get the Famir in combat with some Knights of the Blazing Sun, which is not great for the Blazing Sun Knights, but with Outriders providing a little bit of fire support, maybe going to be able to kind of chip them down. We'll find out how this goes. Those Famir are going to be folding, and we do also see the Outriders here. 2 Outriders, actually. If not for the 50% missile resist, these guys would be getting melted, man. That's quite big. Good trading, though, with the grenade launchers in the middle. We do get some Condom Wolves called out, so Skin Wolves are out on the board. And Skin Wolves will trade pretty well into Boris, actually, if he stays in sustained combat. But if Boris is able to get some fire support from some grenades or spears, he should trade well enough there. On the backside, Empire Knights intercepting the Marauder Ice Wolf Chariot, and that thing does start to take some damage. In theory, the Empire Knights should be able to win that fight, unless there's some Haggard shenanigans I'm not aware of. Outriders are firing away, guys. They are really, really getting it and melting down these Miststalkers, currently sitting at 14 models. Soon going to start losing a heavy amount of models, as the brave State Troopers of the Empire are going to be gathering up, and they got their spears out for Sigmar, and we're going to see what kind of work they can get done here. For Sigmar! Oh, maybe not that guy. That guy not for Sigmar, but everybody else. Outriders still shooting away. Blazing Sun Knight's going to rear charge in, probably break the leadership of those guys. That would have been a good play, I think, but it looks like they're going to loop around and maybe try and find something else. Blazing Sun Knights here do battle some Ice Wolf Chariots. Should be good enough for them. And Boris Todbringer and some Empire Knights in the middle were able to take down the Skin Wolves. So Boris lost about half of his HP, which certainly isn't fun. Bit of a blunderooski potentially here from Jay, sending in the Bright Wizard. Got a little bit crunk. You know, sometimes the Winds of Magic can overwhelm you and you get too crazy. But Wulfric is going to capitalize on this opportunity using Hunter of Champions to lock down the Fire Wizard. And the Fire Wizard is going to be getting absolutely sliced and diced here. Broken, and that's a big potential throw by Jay. Because Jay, I would say, was in a pretty commanding position onto the battlefield, but losing your magic this early on in the game is very, very tough. All right, so on the other side, grenades are ripping up everything. I mean, the Empire's looking very strong outside of that Bright Wizard situation. The Knights of the Blazing Sun here are going to be turning about face to wreck these Norscan Hounds, and will also probably trade well into these Ice Wolves here. Outriders still shooting away, and they are melting the chariot. So even though a lot of their shots and their accuracy certainly leaves a little bit to be desired, you know, they're getting it done, man. I mean, generating some good value here, about 500 value there, 700 value. That's really quite good, and they still have about half their ammo to provide value, so it's great. Now, the Empire's a little bit weak on its back objective. We do see a single Spearman hanging out back here. It could be potentially compromised, a little bit hard to say. But Hawk and Long Rifles have come in. The Airgig Jaeger Corps is here. All right. So the Jaeger Corps is going to be awesome. If they're able to kind of plant their feet in the ground and rip some fat pot shots at the face of those filthy werewolves down there, it's going to be great. Boris Todbringer also probably going to be helping to break them. He does have leadership debuffing effects, which is very, very good. Jaeger Corps looking super, super awesome. And despite the value being close, it does feel like the Empire's reasonably ahead. They could probably resummon their caster. Norska going to be going for the back objective cap, which is a brilliant play. And here the Skin Wolves do get broken down. And now the Jaeger Corps are going to be setting up again and taking pot shots at Wulfric, which is good. It might be able to pick him off over the course of a long game. So come on, give us another sweet, sweet powder volley. Oh yes, glorious, glorious long rifles. Wulfric losing like 700 HP in that volley. So talk about that. Chef's kiss right there. Bright Wizard has been resummoned. Boris Todbringer is back up in the sky. He could probably go and bully here. Norska has no play on this objective at all. Empire Knights and Spearmen are cackling. The grenade launchers of Sigmar are just feasting like the heathen kings of old, just continuing to shoot into the Marauder Hunters right here. Meanwhile, all around the Watchtower, we do see Wulfric getting absolutely Last Samurai, getting hammered down here, guys. And is he going to be getting poked? All right, he's shaken, he's stirred, sitting at 16 leadership. Airgig Jaeger Corps not making short work of him, but making relatively quick work. Bright Wizard going to be very, very clutch here. So there he goes. Coming down the pipe, Marauder's getting cooked, losing a hell of a lot of HP, and probably going to be losing some leadership as well. Wulfric's still getting sniped, actually, but he is able to avoid some of those shots by kind of working with the high ground right there. But look at the firepower of Sigmar, just this mobile mounted firepower army. How badass is this? A lot of just grenades and outriders like moving up. We got the Rough Riders, man. Awesome to see. Mowing down these filthy cavemen. So Norskins do get pushed right there, and now the grenade launcher is going to be coming about face, making sure nothing's threatening this side. Looks completely safe. And Boris Todbringer able to come in with his massive mustache and codpiece and bully Wulfric in combat. Wulfric is on the run, potentially going to get sniped by the Airgig Jaeger Corps on his way out. So he's fleeing the scene. And are they going to be able to hit? Are they still? They're out of range now. So Wulfric is going to be able to escape. But I still think that the Empire has won this. The Outriders and grenade launchers causing absolute havoc, just mowing down these barbarians with grenades and Outrider fire. And honestly, it's a really, really fun build. This is like a more fun version of the build I brought. Yeah, super freaking cool. Toddy hunting down the Firecaster. Grenades are going to be pulling back, and these Outriders are going to be reforming the ranks, trying to chase Wulfric, even though I think he's shattered, so it doesn't really matter. When a unit shatters, it basically just runs off the battlefield, and you don't need to worry about it at all. Here we do have our boy Boris Todbringer attacking into the Shaman Sorcerer. A lot of guns firing from the Outriders. Let's give you guys some cinematic shots of this. You see the Ungamunga Spearmen. We have like literal caveman technology versus like fairly modern technology here in the powder weaponry. Lure Boat's going to be activated. No, Burning Head doesn't do a lot of damage, and we do see the... Oh my god, look at the Last Samurai as these formations just get taken apart. Grenade launchers and powder fire. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. And now the Outriders are going to be drawing their sabers and charging into combat to finish off the Barbarians, shooting up and scooting. And this is why the Empire is the coolest faction in the game. Cathay can't do this. They have their guns, yes, but do they ride horses with badass hats and capes on? I don't think so. So Marauders here getting hammered into the Shadow Realm, and the last of the Norskins are now being pushed back by the fury of Sigmar's powder. Or Ulrich in this case. It's an Ulrich-based army. Boris Todbringer going to be bullying that Fimir Balefin probably. He does have some Outriders here, and they're being chased by the Norskin Warhounds, but the Empire Knights should be able to screen him out. Pistoliers charging into the Norskin Frostwolves. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Arrogant Jaeger Corps is up in the point. This game is basically over here. I don't think that there's any chance for the Norskins to come back and win this one, as the Long Rifles of Sigmar going to be forced to retreat with the Norskin War Doggies coming after him. Yeah, so a couple of decent pursuing plays from Norska, pushing him back a little bit. But now Norska's down literally like 3,000 value. So there's very, very little chance that they're going to be able to get this done. That was a fun build. I love like Sigmar mobile powder. In Tabletop, I sometimes try out grenade launchers and Outriders. If you're playing a Nuln list, they're very fun. They don't take penalties for moving and shooting, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I played Old World, but Nuln is a pretty fun army to play. You got destroyed by Anticity. I mean, welcome to the club. He's playing literally a sweat. Like, his build, he was the first one to submit his list last night. Anticity sent it to me at, like, I don't know, 11 o'clock last night. And when I saw it, like, I was like, he's probably going to win this tournament. This is such a good build, and it's so sweaty. It's literally what you would use in a normal tournament. So people would probably need to list Taylor against him a little bit to have a chance, which could happen again. If he signs up with Slaanesh again, people will know what he's going to bring, and they can just counter his build, which is tricky. So, Fimir Balefin is down. I mean, this game is 1,000% over. We just haven't seen the Norskin player leave yet. A couple Marauder Icewolf Chariots are in the mix, but the Empire Heavy Cavalry and the Long Rifles should be able to take those guys down. You can see these guys setting up shop. Arrogant Jaeger Corps forming ranks to shoot at those chariots. These guys are so cool looking. Oh, I love it. Yeah, they look awesome. Just hunting monsters in the woods, basically. All right. Empire Knights should be able to handle the Norskin Warhounds. Norska's home objective is under pressure now. There are Spearmen moving up, 2 units of Spearmen. Boris Todbringer himself is going to get some big terror outs. We also have grenade launchers on the table, too. So the grenade launchers are there. And, yeah, they'll melt whatever here. We'll see what they can get. Big terror out coming down. Boris Todbringer is a terrifying presence. And with Wulfric being gone off the battlefield, the leadership of Norska is going to be incredibly fickle. You're going to see these Marauder Spearmen run very quickly. So when your general dies in this game, you basically take -16 leadership penalty on your entire army for a period of, I think it's like 20 or 30 seconds. And then after that, it's a static debuff of -10, which is insanely brutal. Like, your whole army just runs so much easier. And when Todbringer comes in, he has negative, where is it? The Blood Roar and Crush the Weak. So -12 leadership in total, which is pretty cracked. So that with a dead general just means Boris Todbringer is going to be able to rout most things on the battlefield. Yep, triple cap is going down. Jay looking pretty damn strong here. You see the Spearmen forming up. Outriders with grenade launchers shooting into the Fimir Balefin on the high ground here, guys. And, yeah. Karth is saying in chat, you played against Anticity, and you played tall with a Shredder and a Life Slant, and he ran circles around. Yeah, that's the downside of playing big monsters in Domination. They're very good. I mean, you clearly went 3-0 before that, but they do have counters. In land battle, big monsters can be a little bit trickier, so you have to deal with them eventually. In the olden days. Empire's holding on to the point, 1,300 points, give or take, 1,333, getting 3 victory tickets per second. Icewolf Chariot is taken offline there, and yeah, Wulfric is back. You know, he was shattered and he came back. Yes, Toddy's Bird does cause terror. Yeah, he causes terror. He's probably the most meta, most powerful lord for the Empire. I mean, he would lose to Karl Franz in a one-on-one fight, but it's not all about fighting. He heals himself passively, and he also has a big leadership debuff with Crush the Weak, which is super, super good. Turin, can you make an OnlyFans with hot Empire rifles? All right. Pistoliers shooting at the Marauders here. Norska does get its objective back, so a little bit of a morale victory here. But the 2 Hawk and Long Rifles are now just going to be teeing off on the characters again. You can see that Wulfric is already down to like 60, 70%, more like 80% actually, but relatively beat up to the point where Boris Todbringer could probably solo him. A lot more firepower coming in. God damn, taking a lot of damage right there, guys. He's getting mowed on down. 2,300 HP. Blazing Sun Knights are just going to kite him, and then he's going to get Oh, we're truly getting a Last Samurai moment. Oh, yes. He's got 1,700. Look, he's juking. He's serpentining. He's serpentining. He's trying to get in. Oh, my God. Look at that. That's so haggard, but he doesn't even get to get in there, and he actually was about to break anyways. Epic game. That was probably my favorite game of the tournament. I think of all the games we casted today, that was probably the most badass one, and had really, really fun builds on both sides. All right, guys. Well played to Riz as well as Werewolf Boyfriend Enjoyer. And the grenades did awesome. 1,600. Yeah, good value there. Outriders are pretty pimped too, 900 and 1100, so they paid for themselves. And the Hawklands looked really good. 2600 value on the Hawkland long rifles were pretty damn good. All right. GG, well played, guys. I hope you enjoyed that one. Is there no forfeit? Yeah, people can leave. I mean, some people like to just fight to the bitter end, but yeah, you can totally leave games early. If you were here earlier in the tournament, people were doing that. 100%. Okay, so where are we now? Games are getting reported. We have our top 4 pictures starting to come into play. Anticity obviously going undefeated here. I don't know who's going to be able to beat that list of his. Being piloted by him, too. It's like, that list is freaking brutal, that Slanesh list. You're sexually attracted to Hawkland long rifles. Oh, man. These streams get a little hog wild sometimes, especially towards the end when people get tired. It gets a little wild around here. Oh my god, that was like a jump scare of the music right there. Okay, so let's see what's cooking here. So let's do this, and need to do that. So he is going to get dropped there. Who will dethrone the champ? I don't know. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very, very hard. Only Scarbrand can top Anticity's list, the Chad Greater Demon of Khorne. Let's see if we have time. Okay, so drop is done. That game is going to be finishing now. Anticity is undefeated. So we have Lizardmen, Slanesh, Ogre Kingdoms have also made it, I suspect. And it looks like there might be a player with 3 wins making it there. It's going to be tight. We'll see who gets there. Yeah, Slanesh is still very meta, very strong. They've gotten a couple nerfs here and there, but overall are very strong. Do you plan on streaming Age of Empires? Probably not in the near future. I'm more enjoying Dawn of War 1 right now. But yeah, there will come a time when there's like a big expansion. We'll go back and cover it, but for now, I'm not super into Age of Empires. Yeah. And Age of Mythology we will do when they do the Japanese Pantheon. We'll come back and give that a try. Okay, so let's refresh this. See how we're looking here. See if there's any other admin stuff I need to take care of. Yeah, so Jay needs to report the score. We had a couple drops here. This game is still going down. Top 4 is looking relatively set. Anticity undefeated obviously gets there. Do you plan on streaming Conquest mode? No. For me, the main competitive game mode is Domination mode. Yeah, Conquest is cool though. It's fun. I like it way more than Land Battle. Scrambled Egg, don't try so hard. This is the Norskin player from earlier. I don't know what list could have a good chance at beating the freaking Slanesh list. Probably Scrambled Eggs would have the best chance. He has 3 Crushers. Crushers will wreck Forsaken, but they will struggle probably against Hellstrider and Furies. I don't know. I mean, Ogres might have the best chance there. It might have the best chance. I've been having a blast with Dawn of War 1. I've been really enjoying it. The tournament we had the other day was great fun. I think I want to do another one of those. It was long. It was like 6 hours or something. Yeah, I've seen that, James Earl. It doesn't call to me too much because I already played those games on tabletop anyway. So to me, I already have that itch scratched IRL. Yeah, you don't need rules for Conquest mode either, though. To be clear, yeah. Ogres with Leadbelcher's play could win, maybe. Yeah, his army is triple Crusher, though. The Ogre Kingdom's army from Scrambled Egg is triple Crusher. He's only lost 1 game. Let's see who he lost to. Scrambled lost. Who beat Scrambled Egg Special? Did he lose early on? Oh, he lost round 1 to the Big H. Okay. You know, there was one list that I thought might have a chance against Anticity, and it was the Vampire Count list of Maximillionaire, but he dropped out. He had to go. Something came up IRL. So, yeah, it'll be hard to see. Hard to say. All right, so it's almost done. We got 3 games here. Okay. Okay, there we go. So just hanging tight, about 3 to 4, I would say 5 minutes until the round's over, and then we go to the grand finals. Yeah, Leadbelchers are pretty good against Slanesh. They can definitely put some hurt down, but Anticity is really good at surrounding you and alpha striking you. That's like his favorite thing to do. He's so good at that. He always finds a way into your backfield. Could we get FFA games for Dawn of War 1? Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to trying that next stream. I would not be opposed to that. Been fiending for a Company of Heroes stream too. I know it's not as popular around here, but it's really fun. I think it's a very underrated game. Been loving the Down 1 content. Watching Basilisk blow things up has been my favorite thing since it came out. Oh, it's so good. Imperial Guard didn't really click for me too well. I've been getting better at Chaos Space Marines, just using CSM like shooting blobs with all the upgrades and the plasma pistols. It's pretty good. Anything you've seen from the Tides of Torment previews? It's funny. I don't really follow the preview stuff too much until we get our hands on it, then we dive in. Next round is semis, yeah. So after this, we have the semifinals, Karthus, and then we have the grand finals. So you're going to be guaranteed a spot, basically, because your score is good enough. Like, if you look at your tiebreaker here, you're looking pretty pimp. So you likely will make it. You might have to play Anticity again, but again, the map will be different. You would probably want to try and get a map where he has to fight you a little bit more so. Yeah. Unfortunately, there are 9 factions. Oh, in DAO 1, so for an 8-player FFA, yeah. Return of the Mole King in Age of Wonders. Oh, the dreaded moles. All right, one game here to wrap up. We got Martin versus Claw. And Anticity, Lizardman, Scrambled Egg, Abdel Zarak are looking good. Martin only has 2 wins. I don't think it could even affect tiebreakers here, actually. I think we have our clear-cut top 4. And who's he playing against? He's playing against Claw. So Claw's down here. I think we can advance, because I don't think either of these guys will buff their records. And we have a clear-cut 5 wins for Ent, and then 3 players who went 4-1. So Abdel Zarak, Scrambled Egg Special, the Lizard Man, and Anticity here. All right. Let's freaking get it. Let's freaking get it. General says, I would be so hyped for an FFA and DAO. You just sit in your fortress of bunkers all day. I know, it feels good. Yeah, not Anticity again, please. Yeah, if you can avoid him and maybe somebody else beats him, you can win the tournament, right? That's like closing your eyes and just hoping the problem goes away. But the problem's just going to be waiting there for you. All right, guys. I don't think this round this game is going to affect the tourney at all, because Martin and Claw cannot possibly get there. Martin only has 2 wins right now. Someone's traumatized. We've all been there. Anticity is, especially on Slaanesh, is very nasty. That's like the strongest player in the world playing the strongest faction of the game in a casual tournament is very brutal. All right, so let's see here. Yep. I don't think there's any chance here that things can change. So we're going to advance the top 4. We're clicking it. There we go. Top 4 time. Okay, let's do this. And we're ready. Okay. So Goblins, top 4 time. So let's take a look at our matches. So in top 4, we're going to have Abdel Zarak. How do you spell his name? I think that's him. Versus Anticity. And then we have Lizard Man versus Scrambled Egg Special versus Lizard Man. So we will do, let me see what Abdel Zarak is playing, and then we're going to decide which one we're going to do here. Yeah, in just a minute. Dark Elves versus Slaanesh. Oh boy. I don't know if he's going to be able to hang in there. It's going to be pretty savage. All right, we can do Lizardman. So we're going to do Scrambled Eggs game. All right, so let's get Scrambled Egg Special. Lobby code, please. So we're going to do Ogres versus Lizardmen. Will you try Dominions? Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever try that. No, you don't need rules, Doctor. Yeah. It's all good. He could be defeated. Even gods can bleed. We do often have tournaments where we ban meta factions. Absolutely. It's not out of the cards. All right, so we're just waiting for our games here. We just need to find Scrambled Egg. He's lurking somewhere. There he is. He'll be here in a second. Yeah, can that Ogre list contend with Slaanesh? I don't know. He does have Triple Crusher and a Thunder Tusk. I mean, that's pretty nasty. Maybe. So this is, by the way, guys, this is going to be a Dread Saurian versus a Thunder Tusk game, which is going to be very fun. Only Skaven tournament. An only Skaven tournament would be really funny, actually. It would just be a cluster. It would just be a cluster of madness, you know? All right, does he have a lobby up? He's on his way. No problemo. I think we need a new background here. The Vampire Coast background is so good. God, do you guys remember how hype Vampire Coast was when that came out as a faction? They had that like awesome soundtrack, and the campaign was so unique and different, you know, out there, you know, sailing the seven seas with your mobile bases. It was definitely one of the best campaigns for its time. And the units were so cool and unique. Vampire Coast was really strong in PvP and Warhammer 2 too. They were beast mode, especially when they first came out. Depth Guard were like one of the most broken units in the game. Yeah, so I suspect that all the undead units are going to get an update if we eventually get Nagash. So I suspect we're going to get Nagash, and all the undead are going to get like a big family update when that happens. That would be my guess. Okay, so where are we at? Still waiting on him. And Lizard Man, I don't know your name in Discord, so coordinate with Scrambled Egg, get into a lobby together, and we'll go from there. The Vampire Coast trailer won you over. Well, your name is literally Pirate, so I can totally understand that. Yeah, the Warhammer 2 backgrounds were pretty good. Yeah, that one was really not... I mean, classic Warhammer 2 is pretty vanilla, but Tomb King's one is great. That one's really good. That one's great. That one's awesome, too. Hunter of the Beast looks great. Yeah, honestly, these Warhammer 2 ones are pretty MLG. Even the Rakarth one's pretty cool. This one's badass, too, though. This one's fun. I mean, I don't know. This might be one of the GOATs, though. I'm very biased because Chaos Dwarves are one of my favorite factions. He's coming, Karthus. Yeah, he said he's going to be there in a second. Karthus, if you want to host the lobby, send me a spectator code in Discord and make a spec slot and put a password on. And then invite Scrambled Egg. Your opponent will host. I'm letting Scrambled Egg know that you're going to be hosting. Just send me all the details, please. Yeah, Age of Sigmar Chaos Dwarves do look pretty cool. It's very different, but close enough that you could honestly proxy them for fantasy if you wanted to. Especially the Bull Centaurs and the characters and stuff. I don't really care for Age of Sigmar much, but those models do look sweet. They do look really cool. You know, something I've been really realizing about miniature painting, having been painting Lord of the Rings lately, is I really prefer the simplicity of Lord of the Rings models compared to like really heavily designed models that have tons of details. It's really, really nice, just the simplicity of painting some of those. Because, man, sometimes if I get like an Age of Sigmar or a 40K model that has like a million details on it, it kind of stresses me out. I'm like, oh God, I have to like paint every little bit here. Yeah, it's a lot. All right, Karthus, I'm waiting for your message, dog. Let me see if we can... There we are. Great. So I got your lobby code. Make sure there's a password on it. Although this might just be it. I think this is it. Okay. Do Chaos Dwarves have a bazooka squad on tabletop? If we're talking fantasy, they don't. But they have a lot of artillery and Infernal Guard Fireglaves. Holy shit, this Lizardman build is so haggard. I love it. How dare you, Pone? In the same, I have a half-built Mortarion model next to me. Yeah, thankfully I painted Mortarion. He was one of the earlier models I painted when I had a lot of steam still. I was very fresh to the hobby, but Mortarion is like, he's big though. He's got a lot of design detail on him, but for me, the worst to paint are like small miniatures, so like infantry size minis that have like a million straps and pouches and like just like trim and all that. It's like, oh, it's such a nightmare. Like, whereas when you're painting Minas Tirith, like soldiers of Minas Tirith, Gondor troopers, you literally just like spray paint them silver, wash them, and then dry brush them silver, and their armor's done. And you're just like, you do their face and their spear, and like it's almost there, you know. Yeah, Age of Sigmar models are amazing for sure. Like Warhammer Fantasy models are more nostalgic, and you know, that's where their power comes from. But the Sigmar models are very well designed for a lot of factions. Some Warhammer Fantasy models aged okay. But you're right. Many of them aged horribly. But the horrible aging is part of the charm for a lot of people, I would imagine. Okay, so we're in there. Scrambled egg is on their way. So this is going to be an extremely mouth-breathing game, by the way. They're both going to be having their mouths wide open, breathing heavily. They both have like super small elite armies. Let me show you guys what's up real quick. Yeah, I painted a Black Legion army, which is probably the most miserable experience. Like, not only painting black is difficult, but also like doing the metallic trim. Oh my god, I remember painting the trim on the goddamn Warp Talons and the what is that flying stupid thing? The Helldrake? Oh god, that was just the most miserable experience I've ever had in hobbying. It felt like a chore, for sure. Alright, so Scrambled Egg, guys, he has the triple Crusher build with the Thunder Tusk, and his opponent, Kintama here. Look how mouth-breathing this build is. It is literally Star Chamber Guardians, Shredder of Lustria, and a freaking Stegodon with a Life Slan. It is so Unga Bunga. It is so Unga Bunga. And aside from that, just kind of standard stuff. A couple Saurus, Skanks, Cold Ones, a little bit of a Solar Engine on the backfield as well. You love it? Yeah. I know you dirty dogs love it. Jay Phoenix says, I'm painting Knights of the Realm on foot, and oh my god, they have so many belts and details. The standard bearer is insane. I know, they're new models. Those ones are really annoying to paint, Jay, I've heard. Yeah, Middle Earth is great. The models are more simplistic. Yeah, I'm enjoying that a lot. Plus, Lord of the Rings is just the greatest thing ever, so it's fun. Helldrake is notoriously miserable to paint. Yeah, one of the best ways to paint the Helldrake, if you're looking to speed it up, is you just spray paint it gold or silver, and then you just paint contrast paint in the pits where you know, the actual plating of the ship is. The Juggernaut Siege Tower for the Chaos Dwarves. Oh, epic. All right, so they're basically doing their picks right now. They obviously can't change their builds. This is a single list tournament, so players have to play the same list over and over here. You're painting your second squad of Noise Marines. Terrible experience after the first 6. I just realized I have to paint Loincloth too. Yeah, so for Noise Marines, homie, well, the scheme I used to paint my Noise Marines, I gave away my Chaos Army to one of my friends, my Black Legion, but Noise Marines, if you just spray prime them black and then dry brush that black with like a Dark Reaper to give it a nice highlight, or like a gray, and then you just paint the pink in the recesses and like the armor panels, so the trim is black, and then the recesses are pink. It looks really good, and it's actually one of the official schemes for the Emperor's Children is a black trim with like pink, you know, centerpieces. It's really easy to paint, super quick. That's how I turbo painted my my Noise Marines I had. Yeah, Chaos trim is punishment for sure. It is. You know, painting Chaos is, you know, you get your fingers poked by spikes. You have to paint trim. It really is a suffering movie. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm excited for Hunt for Golem. Yeah, it's obviously a ways out, but if we're getting freaking Ian McKellen back and Frodo, and you know, and several of the old cast members back, I don't care. I'm gonna be excited. It's, you know, optimism. You got to let it flow. It's Tolkien, you know. It could be terrible, but look, Ian McKellen, I don't even care. Just getting to see him be Gandalf one more time, sign me the hell up for that. I don't care. I'm down. Okay, guys. So here we are. And ladies and gentlemen of the old world, not the grimdark future today, it is going to be Star Chamber Guardians come again. Star Chamber Guardians, very elite anti-large fighters, and they'll be really good against Ogre Infantry, but really good countered against Lead Belchers. We have the Thunder Tusk, the Stegodon, and we do also have a Slan Mage of Life here, who's going to be healing these bad boys up. Now, for the Ogre army, these are two of the more Unga Bunga armies here. We got Mass Crushers, which, look, in theory, Crushers should trade pretty well, though I don't know if they're going to have the stopping power to kill the Dread Saurian. Maybe. But the Dread Saurian does have a bodyguard. He's got the these guys. Okay, looks like they had to restart for some reason. I think they picked the wrong map, or like a disconnect or something. I don't know. Let's see. So they jumped out. I think they were on the wrong map. Let's find out. Ian McKellen is 86 years old. Yeah, but he wants to do it, you know? And, you know, they're going to do the same thing they did with Christopher Lee. When Christopher Lee filmed the Anticity Has Already Won, oh my god. What happened, Carthus? Did you disconnect or something? Where do you need to go? You need to drop? Just let me know quick, dog. Oh, you're on the wrong map. Okay. So, yeah, for the Hobbit movies, obviously Saruman was in the Hobbit movies. Remember at the White Council, they have him in there. So I think Christopher Lee was like 91 years old or something, or like late 80s, like 87. I can't remember when they filmed that. So he basically filmed all of his scenes from like an apartment in London or something, if memory serves. So they'll probably do something similar for Ian McKellen. Well, where they'll do a lot of it. He's a good enough actor; he can, pull it off. And yeah, I'm just excited to see him. Man, if they can get some scenes with him and Frodo, and yeah, Andy Serkis back as Gollum. I mean, come on, who doesn't want that? Yeah, Ian McKellen doesn't need makeup now; only the beard. Christopher Lee went hard in the Hobbit movies. He did. Yeah. There was a lot wrong with the Hobbit movies, but it was really fun seeing some of the famous characters coming back. Like seeing Saruman battling the Nazgul at Dol Guldur was super fun. Like I know it's a corny scene and it's probably not the most canon thing, but it was just fun, It was just fun. All right, guys. So here we are. We're running it back. It is going to be triple Crusher with great weapons. Very good against big stuff. If they can isolate the Dreadsaurian out in the open, maybe they can kill it. But the Star Chamber Guardians and the Lifeslant are going to have something to say about that. We do also have a Troll Guts caster, and Scrambled Egg Special is going to be advancing up here. On the other side, guys, it is going to be the Shredder of Lustria, the Stegodon, as well as Star Chamber Guardians on their way out. The Slan Mage of Life is coming to party, and the Slan Mage here is going to be having what spells? So, Awakening of the Wood, that's what she said. Shield of Thorns, Regrowth. Did this man really bring every single spell in Lore of Life? That is so haggard. I love it. All right. Usually that's not something you recommend. You would want to cut like 2 of these spells and then get a couple extra units, but it's not the end of the world. This man is a Swiss Army knife. He's got a little bit of everything here. So what's going to happen is Scrambled Egg Special is going to call out like 3 Lead Belchers or 2 Lead Belchers and probably dominate this game. If I'm just looking at the army compositions, I would say the Lead Belchers are going to be a huge problem. Scrambled Egg currently sitting at about 1,300 resources, so he's sitting there and chilling. And what's his first call out going to be? Lizardman calling out some chaff units. We do see the dreaded skin cohorts being called out. So 1 and a 2. And on the other side, we do see the Lead Belchers being called out first. Lobatomir in chat asking, did your buddy Smeagol beat the Balrog? So that was my opponent's Balrog, my friend Andrew, that was his Balrog, and that was my Smeagol. I actually had just painted the Balrog for him. Smeagol fought the Balrog. He didn't die. He lived. So Smeagol took 1 wound and survived and did a backflip and escaped the Balrog, which was pretty cool that he survived a combat. But then the next turn, Smeagol got killed by a couple goblins. They surrounded him and killed him. So he had a good run, but Smeagol did stand toe-to-toe with Durin's Bane, which is quite an achievement for him. He got his old strangling fingers and took his chance trying to take down the Balrog. All right, guys. Cold on Spear Rider is going to be getting called out for the dinosaurs, and Lead Belchers are going to be emerging out of the wood soon. Here they come. So Lead Belchers and Scrambled Egg is saving up right now. He's got about 1,300 right there. And I would wager it's got to be another Lead Belcher. Thundertusk's going to be getting down and dirty. And look at this. We do have the Siege Stegodon in the back for Kintama. It is going to be shooting into the Thundertusk here, which is good anti-large. And uh-oh, you don't want it. You don't want any of that smoke. All right, we do see Big Daddy coming in. Oh, Dad is here. There he goes. And I don't know, you better protect him, man. That's a dangerous play. The Crushers might be able to get it done, though. With the Lead Belcher providing Overwatch fire, it could get the job done. We are going to see some Crushers here crushing some of these gremlins. Oh, yes. So that's going to be a big bully beatdown as those guys lose half their health on impact, by the way. And now the Lizardmen are going to be sending in a Cold on Spear Rider, but there's a second Crusher coming in. Crushers are like 1,800 gold. So this is a disaster for the dinosaurs over here, like an absolute disaster. And another disaster for the dinosaurs. We do see the Shredder of Lustria getting hit by Flesh to Stone and Shield of Thorns. Oh, it's so Bronzodia. I love it. But Lead Belchers are mowing down the Star Chamber Guardians. The Shredder of Lustria is surrounded and is going to start taking damage once these buffs wear off. Oh my god, the dreaded Yetis. Scrambled Egg has got to be one of my favorite players. He's so fun. He just brings cool shit. So Yetis have Frostbite and good armor piercing, so they will be able to lock down the Shredder a little bit. Star Chamber Guardians getting melted, and the Crusher's going to be pulling back. On this side, absolute massacre. The 2 Crushers going to be stealing that objective, and now going after the Cold on Spear Riders. Yeah, it's going to be he's basically just feeding him points. The Lizardman player should be sending this unit over here. Sending the Spear Riders into Double Crusher, which are some of the more elite anti-large cavalry in the game, is a big mistake. Now, looking at the Dread Saurian back here, it is doing its thing, causing a little bit of havoc here and there, but look at the freaking poor Star Chamber Guardians. They're like, help me, Anakin, I'm too weak. There's only like 10 of them left, maybe 20, give or take. The Lead Belchers are just mowing these guys down. These poor dinosaurs having a terrible time. Let's see how many are left, actually. 16, okay. And now the Thunder Tusk comes in, and those bad boys are going to be getting broken and shattered for sure. So Saber Tusk pack is here. The Dread Saurian able to get some good work done, actually. Able to kill the Amble Peak Greybacks. Holy shit, you never see those guys in action. So the Yetis do get killed, and now the Lead Belcher is going to be trying to last Samurai this big beastie. The unit of Crusher is going to be moving over there, but I think the Lizardmen are just kind of cooked. We do actually see the Slan getting surrounded by Saber Tusks, and also attacked by the Thunder Tusk here. In the meantime, Crusher is able to win that fight versus the Cold Ones here, so Ogres do secure Objective 1 with a vengeance. And yeah, Saber Tusk packs swarming the Shredder of Lustria while the Lead Belchers do get back, and the Slan is also in the danger zone a little bit. He is, I would say, more so on the highway to the danger zone. He's not quite there yet, but yeah, okay, now he's in the danger zone. He's broken, negative leadership. The Thunder Tusk is a very strong monster and is going to be able to probably bully that thing. And now it's just dealing with the Dread Saurian, really. But the Dread Saurian does have a Rage Boner. It's going to be chasing down the old Lead Belchers, and it is getting some nice picks, and it is pretty damn hard to deal with. Probably going to be seeing the Slan get killed here. It's very rare that Battletoads do actually get killed in games, but he was surrounded by a lot of scariness. And down goes the Battletoad. He's going to be teleporting back to his toilet seat chambers. And here comes the big man. Thunder Tusk is one of the more devastating anti-infantry monsters in the game. Spears will be okay against it, but you know, eventually it's probably going to still be able to win that with some cycle charging and or support. On the backside, the Shredder of Lustria is causing a lot of havoc. It is being worn down, and the Yetis are on their way back in. So the Yetis are going to be bro charging in. Getting ready to put some work in there. And here they come. Surround from the Saber Tusk pack. Amble Peak Greybacks are on their way in. We do see the Spears and Cold and Spear Riders actually doing very well versus the Thunder Tusk. A couple Saber Tusks are going to be sacrificed to the gods to try and protect them. Crushers over here winning their fight, chasing off these skink cohorts. And the Dread Saurian didn't hear no bell, man. Kintama, I mean, look. If the Lizardmen had been able to keep their Slan alive, there is maybe an opportunity where they could come back a universe. But I think with the Slan being dead, it's probably a little bit too much. Currently, as it stands, looking at the objectives, we do see the dinosaurs up in points. So they did have the objective advantage for a hot moment there, it looks like. As we do see the Ogre Kingdoms here, chilling on the double cap. Shredder of Lustria roaring and doing crazy Jurassic Park shit. But it is being attacked by a big frostbiting monster. And what do these guys even do? I can never see these things. Okay, so they get... Okay, they get a buff if a terror-causing unit is in range. That's badass. And they also do get the Frostbite Aura, the Aura of Frost. Alright, so we have the big kaiju fight, guys. Thunder Tusk versus the Shredder of Lustria. This is what you guys are all here for. Godzilla versus King Kong, going to be juking it out. They're knocking each other around, doing some damage. Thunder Tusk has healing, and the Shredder of Lustria does not. Now, normally in a vacuum, the Shredder of Lustria would dominate the Thunder Tusk in a fight, but considering how injured the Shredder of Lustria is, and the fact that the Thunder Tusk has some healing, it might be able to equalize that fight. We'll have to see. On the backside, Colossodon Hunters are called out. Look at this, the Dinosaur is actually threatening the home point here, guys. Kintama getting a spear unit as well as a Stegodon to be chilling here, and this freaking Shredder of Lustria, he's really, really going hard in the paint. Kind of keeping this game close here. Negative 19 leadership, finally going to be broken, but he fought hard and fought very, very well considering he was super outnumbered. Let them fight indeed. So Crushers are chasing on the back here. We do see the Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw. He is chillaxing. Objective number 1 being stolen by the Lizards, actually. And the Lizards actually do have objective number 3, too. So they are going to be getting a double cap. Maybe there's a shimmer of hope for the dinosaurs. I don't know. I personally don't think so, because now that the Shredder of Lustria has been hunted and defeated, so down it goes, adorable little dinosaur, poor thing. It is going to be the rampaging of the Thunder Tusk. So now he's going to be getting in there, charging in, and there he goes. He's going to be Thunder Tusking in there. These monsters are pretty terrifying. God, imagine fighting that thing. Man, freaky shit. But Ogres still have a nasty Death Star. We do see another Yeti on its way in, which is going to be a good generalist unit. The Colossodon Hunters are pretty good, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think that the Thunder Tusk probably going to win a lot of these fights. We do see the Stegodon being surrounded, and Crushers hit insanely hard. Like, Crushers hit for 122 right now when they're poisoned. If you add, 4 Crushers together, it's hitting as hard as a Legendary Lord. So they're a very, very strong unit. There's a reason they cost like 1,800 or whatever it is. You see a little bit of Gremlin play. Skank's coming over here trying to grab the point. Ogre's going to be responding with some Yetis to get there, which is pretty epic. I think the Ogres are probably just going to steamroll over to their opponent's home objective now, just going to be heading to objective 3 and probably cleaning up there. As the Stegodon is taken down and the Thunder Tusk is going to be sitting at 3,100 value. Up in the sky, Dismember activated, so Ogre's using the Dismember ability. And now the dreaded Blood Vulture is going to be flying in. Blood Vultures will trade okay. Colossodon Hunters are anti-large, so they're not going to be amazing against them. All right, Thunder Tusk is on its way in. It is Thunder Tusken time. The best part in Morbius here, as it does rampage through these little gremlins and probably will be mitigating any cap pressure. Yetis are on their way up, and now that the Stegodon is shattered and pushed back, you're going to see the Ogres make a play for Objective 3, which is going to be closing out the game. But very well played to our Lizardman champion, you know. I haven't seen his name in the top 4 previously, in my games at least. Maybe he has been in other tournaments, but very cool to see some new faces, some new blood making it to the top 4 there. And pushing on up, Yeti's arriving, and they will be able to beat down these cohorts with the Thunder Tusk. Not that it's needed, a bit of overkill there. Spears arriving, you know, it's cute. Spears are a counter against all these units, but sometimes even if you have a counter, it doesn't matter. Like, yes, the Balrog in Tabletop or whatever, or any big monster typically counters, you know, a single small monster, but if you have a million units surrounding it, that is something. The Troll, they do have the Troll animation, although their running animation is a little bit different. Here comes the Yetis. Pone loves it. He loves Bigfoot, dude. We got Bigfoot all up in here. Go on, get it. So they're here, and those Saurus Spears are probably going to have a bad time, just with the sheer numbers. Colossodon Hunters, I do like this from Kintama. They're going for a Lord Snipe on Scrambled Eggs Slaughtermaster, which was a great play. The Yetis and the Crusher is going to be pulling back to help out. Good Dismember on the Cold One Spear Riders. And the Thunder Tusk and the Saber Tusk packs are now going to be advancing on. The onslaught of the Ogre Kingdoms is now. On the other side, we do see Objective 1 belongs to the Chungus Kingdoms. A couple Saber Tusks going to be hunting down the last remnants of the Lizards, and I don't know where that frickin' Thunder Tusk is going. Yeah, he should be coming back here and helping out in this fight. Lizards making a valiant last stand here, that is for sure. They got their spears, they're going to be poking. But look how cool the Yetis look. Oh, look at them. Dude, the Yetis have like early 2000s, like frosted tip haircuts. You guys remember? How many of you guys were in high school in like the early 2000s, late 90s? You guys remember the dreaded frosted tips as well as the okay, so Anna and I were talking about this the other night. You have the frosted tips, you have the puka shell necklaces. That was big in America. And then you also had the polo shirts, but the double polo shirt. So there would be people who would wear a polo shirt and a double polo shirt. They would have one popped and then one on underneath it. Some really forbidden early 2000s clothing styles, that's for sure. All right, that's going to be GG, though. The game is closed out, and Objective 3 goes to the Ogres. Well, points were pretty close, actually, but Lizards just kind of got forced off there. Yeah, GG, well played. Skateboard shoes, those are still pretty popular, though. I don't know if they've made a comeback, but I definitely have seen some of the folks around the neighborhood wearing them still. All right, guys, the crumpeting begins. Dismember activated right there. And we're going to be seeing Ogres versus Slaanesh in the grand finals. I never had frosted tips myself. I had a lot of friends who did. I did wear the really haggard polo shirts. I don't think I ever had a puka shell necklace, though. That was a pretty forbidden one. You remember the double polo shirt? Yeah, it was a thing, man. Thunder Tusk value in this game, currently sitting at 3,500. Not bad at all. I mean, that's pretty standard. Thunder Tusks are probably one of the best monsters in the game even still. They are limited to 1, so they're like a Dread Saurian. You can only bring 1 Thunder Tusk, which has made them more fair for sure. When you could bring 2 of them and they were like overtuned, it was super, super broken. Okay, I don't know why the Lizard player hasn't left the game. This is a little perplexing. I mean, there is a time to fight to the bitter end for fun, but when you have literally a half-health spear on the field versus like a full army, that's when I think you got to call it. Yeah, so Yeti's going to get over there with the Slaughtermaster. Spear's going to be farming up. Yeah, he should just leave. I mean, but, you know, a lot of people just like to mess around and they lose track of things. Kaboom! A nice bombardment there. The snowball fight of doom is going to be -10 leadership on these bad boys. And, I mean, what is he? He's calling out Star Chamber Guardians. Like, they're going to, by the time they get to an objective, the game's basically going to be over, you know? Oh, no, dude. Hearing Turin speak of the 90s and early 2000s make me glad I was born in 01. No, trust me, you missed out on a lot of good times, man. 90s and early 2000s were pretty magical. That like weird bridge between having technology but not having technology control your life was really, really a pretty magical time. Because you got to have a lot of the fun of like, you know, playing with your friends online on like early dial-up and early internet, but you weren't so absorbed and everyone wasn't like so social media dependent. It was a very magical time for sure. Yeah, I loved it myself. But again, everyone's biased. Like some people, typically people are going to like the generation they grew up in for the most part. Not always. But I personally felt like that was pretty magical. So Scrambled Egg is setting up the World War II battle lines here. Look at him. He's got his trench lines here. Yeah. And, I mean, I don't know what the Lizardman player's thinking here. He's fighting to the bitter end. Hey, I respect the grind. Dismember activated. Oh, my God. Leadbelcher's just mowing those guys down. And that's going to be all she wrote. GG. Well played. All right. So let's see what's cooking here. And we are going to go to the finals. So Thunder Tusk, 3,000. Crushers, 14. 3,600 on this one. God damn. Yeah, 22 there as well. Leadbelchers did good. The Forbidden Yetis didn't get a ton of value, but they sent a message of intimidation to their opponent. Only one Leadbelcher in his build. Interesting. Hey, GG, Karthus. Well played, man. You played like a champ. Great game, Scrambled. And let's get the finals all set up. Tabletop finals. All right, all right. So we're going to set this up here. We're going to pop, lock, and drop it. And now, nope, I need to redo that. Tabletop Finals 2. Post game of Spectator. There we go. Okay, so that is going to be Scrambled Egg Special for the finals, and then Anticity winning on the other side as well. Okay. Perfect, perfect. There we go. And let's set up this, get that going, and they're going to have to let me know the map. So Anticity is here with his Forbidden Evil Slanesh. Early social media was pretty fun. I mean, admittedly, I had a lot of fun with MySpace. When MySpace came out, like I think I had fun with social media up until like the death where Facebook started to die off, because I enjoyed Facebook and MySpace and, you know, had a good time with those social medias when they came out for sure. The dreaded top 8 on MySpace was really the most forbidden thing. But like the newer ones like Instagram and TikTok, I've never really felt the call to get on those. I haven't. It's not my jam. Internet was cool before corporations took. Yeah, no, the alien, you know, that's one of my favorite conversations to have with people is like, what sci-fi future are we going to end up with? And, you know, alien Earth kind of looks like it could be a thing, you know, 5 corporations controlling Earth and just running shit. I mean, like, hey, man, that seems like it could happen. Wish I had MySpace back in the day. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. MySpace was a great time. Was the guy your friend on MySpace too? Tom was everybody's friend. Yeah, Tom on MySpace. So if you made a MySpace, he was your first friend. He was like auto-friended with you. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, bot. You're not wrong. Star Trek would be nice. It would be. Yeah. Yeah, MySpace top 8 was a pretty savage thing, you know? Like, obviously, they have, like, youthful savagery on a lot of social media now, which is just, like, pretty awful bullying and pranks and things like that. But, like, back on the savagery on old social media was typically the top 8 was one of the first ones. Like, so basically, each of your pages on MySpace, you had a special section, like, right at the top of your profile, which was called your friends top 8. So you had to rank your friends, like a social hierarchy ranking. Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was always like a bit of an interesting thing because, like, you know, guys, for example, would have their top 8, you know, but then they would start dating a girl, and the question is, does she jump above all the rest of the hierarchy? And if she does, then, you know, she would often be happy. But if she didn't, then, you know, it's like, oh, am I not as important to you as your friends? You know, it's like, yeah, there was always that. Oh, ICQ and Hotmail, yeah, I had ICQ, I think, for Ultima Online. That was how people communicated. Let's see what's cooking here. So they're going to play Ragnarok Lair is going to be the map. All right, Ragnarok Lair. And here we go. Yep, Jay, 100%. Early internet was great right before it became optimized to get you addicted to things. Yeah, 100%. Friend politics, yeah. I remember that. I remember that conundrum back in high school. Here we go. All right, guys. Fasten your seatbelts and get ready to go. Let's have some fun. Welcome to the grand finals of today's tabletop tournament. We are 3 hours in, and it is going to be Slanesh versus the Ogre Kingdoms. Ultima Online is probably my favorite game of all time. Top 2, top 3. I loved Ultima Online. I actually played it again recently on the UA Outlands. It's a really good server. Is this the guy who has a Pelicans channel? I have no idea what that is. No, best of one. It's just best of one finals. This is for all the marbles, guys. Ladies and gentlemen of the old world, the far distant fantasy past. It's going to be Anticity's Forbidden Forsaken build, backed up by an Exalted Keeper of Secrets of Shadow. And then we do have a couple of Hellstriders as well. There's like some really loud sound. I don't know if that's just like the drums or the music. Huh, hard to say. Regardless, on the other side, guys, it's going to be a couple Crushers. Crushers are anti-large and heavily armored, so out of the gates, the Crushers should perform very well versus Forsaken as well as Hellstriders. We do also have a Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw and a Thunder Tusk. Now, the weakness of the Ogre build is the fact that it can't cover as much ground. It's slower. There are going to be opportunities for Anticity to call in like Furies and Rampage you and pick things off. So we will see. We're going to see. Thunder Tusk, of course, can counter the Elite Demon, demonic infantry like Demonettes and things like that. Best of one, talk about pressure. I know it's for all the marbles. This is a casual tournament, so it's not super sweaty. Usually for our really sweaty tournaments, we have best of 5 or best of 7, which is very, very normal. Crusher's coming across, going to be grabbing objective number 3. Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw is going to be setting up shop here on objective 3 as well. And the Thunder Tusk is going to start poking the Forsaken. Scrambled Egg is the rank 6 player in the world. Anticity is the rank 1 player in the world. So Anticity is the defending world champion. And Scrambled Egg Special is currently the number 6 ranked player. So these are players who could feasibly run into each other in a season final. Definitely can feast. Now, what's the first call-in going to be? The Lead Belcher. Okay, so the Lead Belcher is going to be very easy for Kraken King to compromise. And he is going to be yielding an objective out of the gates here. He's going to be letting Anticity roll up with the Forsaken and seal that. Interesting. Moving on up are the Lead Belchers, and they will put some hurt down. We do see the Thunder Tusk shooting at Marauders and at Forsaken here. So now he's going to be shooting the Snowball of Doom. Waterworld or Battlefield Earth? I haven't seen Battlefield Earth, so I can't answer that question. Isn't that the Scientology one? Am I crazy? That's one with like John Travolta. It's like the Scientology one. Maybe I'm wrong. But regardless, Thunder Tusk is going to keep poking, and Saber Tusks are now being called out. Lead Belchers are going to move up and park right outside of the trees here and maybe start shooting. Gotta watch out though. The Rampage from the Kraken King is going to be pretty scary. More shots from across the board, and from downtown. Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma used on the Lead Belchers there, and it looks like another miss. Although it does flatten a couple Forsaken, so 4 Forsaken are going to go down here. And Anticity looks like he wants to go for it, guys. He's going to be doing his classic playstyle of Unga Bunga swarming his opponent in the backfield using high micro and very fast units. Ogres are a faction that could theoretically endure this, though. Oh, the dreaded lag switch has been pulled. The Warhammer 2 tournament tactics. We had some evil players who the conspiracy theories said that they were lag switching on purpose. Crusher's going to be turning around, maybe to go after the Exalted Keeper. If it rampages these Lead Belchers, it's basically a dead unit. So I'm surprised that he's going to let that happen. Oh, Anticity going fishing. There he goes. And he does get the rampage onto the Lead Belchers. He's literally fishing right now, and they're going to get pulled into combat. I'm surprised that Scrambled Egg didn't fight for that a little bit harder, because he's just going to be letting that Lead Belcher die there. Now on the outside, Saber Tusks and Crushers chasing Hellstriders, but they're much faster, so they're going to be laughing all the way to the bank. And one Lead Belcher gets taken in the trash can right away. I'm really surprised we didn't see a Crusher move in and try and protect them. We do get a big flank fight over here, maybe. Hellstriders continue getting chased, and the Ogre army is going to be maneuvering away, cutting their losses right now. So they're just like, all right, we're just going to let those Lead Belchers go down here. And now we get a big fight. Saber Tusks, Crushers going to be battling it out versus the internal entourage, and they'll be pretty okay there. Saber Tusks and Crushers overextending a little bit. Some of them going to be looping back, but we do get a big pit fight. One Forsaken is already almost dead. And honestly, the battle is kind of even now. The Eternal Entourage lost about half their health, and that's an extremely expensive unit. The only issue for the Ogres is they have no objective capture right now. They have nothing, basically. Saber Tusk Rampage and Crusher is going to be winning their fight here versus the Hellstriders, but about to be rear charged by the Eternal Entourage. And you can see Scrambled Egg is going to be trying to get away with those guys. In the meantime, not trading terribly with Slaanesh. Granted, the Ogre Lord is isolated by the Exalted Keeper of Secrets. He's being left to the dogs right now, but it looks like he is going to be able to get up and run away there. Crusher is still fighting away, going to need a heal, and a big Ogre blob is coming, and Scrambled Egg is very much playing Unga Bunga style, where he just gets his whole army in one army and moves it together, 8 moves, and is eventually going to be trying to steamroll the objectives. Hellstrider's getting worn down, Forsaken getting worn down, Saber Tusk's a little bit beat up, but the Crushers are all in pretty good shape right now, and the Thunder Tusk monster is going to be a menace, that is for sure. Ogres get a pretty decent little win right here, breaking the Hellstriders, as well as some of the other units that were there, and could maybe feasibly move over there and grab that objective. But the Ogres are basically just trying to win a blob fight super hard and then grab the objectives later. They're just grinding. playing for it and doing it to it. Forsaken are coming in. Ogre's still fighting the good fight. Seductive Glory is activated, so Rampaging is on the table. As the Blood Vulture is going to be flying overhead, looking for the Hellstriders, which is what they want to be fighting. Back here, Blood Vultures onto the Eternal Entourage with double Crushers. For sure going to be a win for the Ogre Kingdoms in that particular fight. And the Slaughtermaster just chilling here. And what are the Ogres going to be calling in? Probably just Saber-Tusk packs, I would imagine. Crushers, though, trading very well. I mean, they're handling a lot of these threats. Saber-Tusk gets in, or Thunder Tusk, and gets a brutal rear charge, taking half HP off that frickin' Hellstrider. Not too many infantry for the Ogre Kingdoms. We do see the Eternal Entourage crumbling, and Anticity is up in value, but Ogres do have healing, remember, so there is that. The problem is the Ogres don't have any objectives. Anticity is really, really cackling on the points right now. Crushers with Great Weapons are steady and fighting. Thunder Tusk is getting some nice trampling. Here we do see a little bit of breaking. The Ogre army is so freaking small, though. Are they going to be playing any of the objectives? It doesn't look like it. Anticity just going to be calling in just mass mobility, while Blood Vultures appear to be the call-in for Scrambled Egg. I think Scrambled's going to be calling in more mobility, more monsters. We will see. All right, guys. Crusher's going to be fighting it out. Thunder Tusk here is going to be running these bad boys down. And the Crushers are still enduring. Do we have a meat feast coming up or any big heals? Thunder Tusk is still a problem. I mean, Anticity could lose this game if he were to lose his Lord. If his Lord gets blundered or something, maybe that would be a way back in. But overall, it does look like Slaanesh is pretty happy with this grind right now. The Blood Vulture call-in is smart, because Blood Vultures are a good counter against a lot of Slaanesh cavalry. They can trade pretty well with the Horsemen and the Hellstriders and those type of things. Big old heal going to be going down on the Crushers, who still have 8 of 12 models, I believe, so pretty meaty still. And that's going to keep them fighting. Saber-Tusks are rampaging, and honestly, the Ogres are kind of fighting okay here, guys. With their healing, they might even be ahead in value. So Seductive Glory activated, but the Thunder Tusk is going to be coming in to protect its little brother. The Slaughtermaster does get punched in the face once, but the Thunder Tusk does rampage on down here and starts the push. Crushers are on their way back in, and this is a really, really knockdown, drag-out fight here, guys. Yes, Slaanesh loves a good grind. This Ogre army is certainly performing better than any of the other lists have against Anticity tonight, but he's still losing out on the objectives very, very hard. Now, Saber-Tusk pack going to be Ninja trying to grab objective 3, but a Hellstrider could probably be called out and grab those. I would wager that's going to be happening here relatively soon. Down on the low ground, Crushers are going to be engaging versus Seekers, which is tough. But with Blood Fear, the Blood Vultures ran away at the last second. That's very, very unlucky. Now, back in this fight, Thunder Tusk get a couple Crushers, having a Mortal Wombat, and they are 2v1ing the Big Lord. So the Exalted Keeper of Secrets is battling versus the Lord here. Massacre activated. It's a big weapon damage buff, but the Slaughtermaster getting picked out of the formation could probably end the game. And Thunder Tusks are good at killing SEs, but it's not their strong suit, you know, and I do think Anticity is probably going to be taking over the game here, as he does get the pick on the enemy Lord. And ladies and gentlemen, I think that is going to be it. We are going to see the Slaughtermaster get taken to Pound Town. And, yeah, what else can be done here? I mean, not a whole lot. Sam, thank you. We need to see some beautiful war crimes. You saw them from Anticity today. You already committed them. GG, well played. So, yeah, this is really interesting. This is a format we don't usually do often on this channel, the tabletop style, where you pick one list. But, like, I suspect the next tournament, you would see a lot of people entering in with lists specifically designed to counter Slaanesh, because clearly Slaanesh's all-comers list is so freaking brutal, and if you're not able to prepare for them, it's even harder, right? So it'd be really interesting to see how that kind of shifts out there. But Anticity showing why he's the #1 ranked player in the world, but also why Slaanesh is probably the #1 ranked faction. He really, really capitalized on their strengths, alpha struck all of his opponents, and played like a champion. So guys, if you enjoyed what you saw today, for all of you homies hanging out on the old YouTube, please do drop a like on the way out. It helps quite a bit. Bit of a shorter stream today, only 3 hours or so. I got some stuff I got to take care of, and kind of wore my voice out a little bit a couple days ago, so going to be trying to rest that for today. But folks, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more tabletop tournaments, please drop a like. It's how I gauge what content I'm going to put up on the channel, what kind of streams we'll do and whatnot. And for those of you guys on Twitch, consider following and subscribing if you enjoyed what you saw. Boone, thank you so much for resubscribing there. And folks, we'll be back soon with some more sweaty Total War. Adios, do widzenia. Congrats to the Kraken King for the great victory. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you all on the other side.